It's Friday, you bastards.
When Bill O'Reilly's dialing, sure he isn't wearing pants. He'll tell you if you like your job, then you'll give him a lap dance. And if you tell O'Reilly you're not looking to be kissed, he'll do the pants right off ya and call you an extortionist. All the factors fair and balanced, but not when he calls at night. He's looking for a lassie who likes it a little to the right. When Bill O'Reilly's horny, sure it ain't a no-spin zone. So when Bill O'Reilly's dialing, you best not pick up your phone.
Oh, my God.
Exactly. He's part of that moral values crowd, ain't he, Bill O'Reilly?
That's right.
That's him. Part of that moral values crowd. It's Swept America, baby, from coast to coast, from pillar to post. Well, happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to you.
62 today. Here's a fax from somebody from Syracuse, New York, formerly from Boca, who is unnamed but says happy birthday with a very fancy, schmancy fax, so thank you for that. Thanks to Berkeley, who came in, actually. I think you were out taking some business.
Right.
Berkeley came in. It's also her birthday. Can you believe that?
That's right. Happy birthday,
So we
Berkeley.
wish each other a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Berkeley, although she's a little bit younger than I am.
You should play the jingle for her.
Should I really? Well, I'd kill a little time. This Howie stuff would take it off really early. It's starting to get a little to frost our ass just a little bit, you know? Because they get you conditioned. In the beginning, it was like, geez, are they going to go this long? And then finally say, well, you know, it's pretty good, actually, that they're going that long, because now we don't have to do squat. And then when you least expect it, they run out of gas. Of course, with the price of gas nowadays, thank you, Mr. President, and all you right-wing Nazi bastards for those low gas prices. Say that right off the bat before the show officially starts in a half an hour. Well, we got another half hour to fill today. By the way, Arafat is dead or alive, brain dead or not, depending on what you want to believe, okay? He's on the verge. He's on the way out. And he wants to get buried in Israel, and the Israelis said, no thanks. We don't want your disgusting, crunkled up old Getchke body polluting our soil, our sand, whatever the hell we got.
Their holy stolen sand.
The holy thing. Look for the QAM van today, 3 to 5, at the Hess station. I think Rudolph Hess may make a comeback now that Bush got in again. At the Hess station at 19880 Northwest 27th Avenue. Where the hell is that? Boy, I sure hope that somebody has some idea where that is. What kind of an address is that? 3 to 5 at the Hess station, 19880 Northwest 27th Avenue. Stop by the Spin the Field for prizes and register for the Miller Lite Press Writer for a Day sweepstakes. I have no idea what that is. And also 4 to 6 this afternoon, QM will be at the second annual South Florida RV Road Show going on at the Bass Pro Outlet off I-95 and Griffin Road. Stop by to win prizes, it says. Well. And these are both written in real teeny tiny print. I mean, so small you could use the Mount Palomar telescope to see it. So I'm sure that between now and 11 o'clock we'll just take a bunch of birthday greetings, right? It's my birthday.
Absolutely.
We got Brigitte Bardot on that. I'm giving you a little sneak advance on that, Brigitte Bardot. I can't believe we didn't have like 1 million hits on there yesterday. I don't think these guys realized that Carmen Electra was looking as good as she was. Well, that was a great... I didn't even look at it because you told me yesterday.
Oh, she does look good.
Boy, that picture was maybe the best one we ever had on there. Too late now, though. It's gone. You guys archive those. No, that's exactly why we don't. That's exactly why we don't. Right. We want you to get to hop on it every day.
Every day. Stop what you're
doing. A lot of you guys would like to hop on it
out
every day, but most of you I don't think have a Chinaman's chance. But there's Brigitte Bardot looking pretty swanky, if you ask me. But yesterday, I think that was the all-time best. Wouldn't you agree? That was right in the running anyway.
Certainly.
It was a fine picture. Well, let's take some birthday greetings or some bastards out there that want to give me a little zets or whatever it is. We don't care because it's Friday. And I got some really good stuff for later on, as a matter of fact. Good. I do. And what did I tell you yesterday? We had a world exclusive on it here yesterday. I told you that Amendment 4 passed. Wait until you hear, and now it's actually in writing in all the newspapers, The article in the Sun Sentinel, I almost can't even wait for this, about the Seminole Indians. And they put up most of the money against number 4, based on, I don't want to tip my hat because I will read this later, based on ads warning that slots at the pari-mutuels would ruin the state's family-friendly tourist reputation. These are the same people that are running the Hard Rock Casino with their slots of a different, not full slots, but what they got. How do you like that? Would ruin the state's family-friendly tourist reputation. And then they said, well, we never really saw the TV ads. We just paid for them. Oh, come on, man. Injun, please. It is just enough to make you want to puke.
Coming up tonight.
What the hell is that? Where did that come from? Man, oh man, he just came flying out of the closet, that lunatic. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Am I your first caller of the day?
First one of the day.
Hi, Barry.
Nah, I knew it. I knew it was him, Mr. Sicko. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Fudgy. Happy birthday.
Thanks. Thanks, Snothead. Okay. WQAM, hello.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Oh,
Happy birthday, dear Neely. Happy birthday to you.
All right.
Okay, Zygazone. Peggy says, happy birthday, enjoy, I love you. And here's a birthday card she's got that I wish I could make out a little bit better because it's got some hot guy. Oh, he's got pants on, I can see that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thanks, Peggy. Love you. WQAM, hello.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
I just wanted to say, Sandar Bush is a punk. I can't believe this American people voted him in again.
Take a look at our website, by the way. We got 2 great things. Nice job, Eric. We got the UK Daily Mirror front page from yesterday morning. Mm-hmm. In fact, I better click on it right now because I want to make sure I get the number right. Everybody needs to take a look at that. It'll give you a little chuckle anyway, especially those of you who are depressed and those who actually voted for Bush. It'll make you make you realize what you are, as in kind of moron. Oh, now there's more stuff. Oh, we didn't realize we had the Alfred E. Newman one up there. Oh, great. The What Me Worry one, that's a beautiful thing. Well, we got a whole bunch of stuff, and then underneath that one we got, he seems to be doing that habitually now, flipping everybody off, giving a bird. He's holding his dog in one hand, and he's flipping somebody the bird in the other one. He does that a lot.
America. That's
well, then we got the Adolf Bush one underneath that, the new one.
That's my new wallpaper on the
standing in front of the American flag that no longer has the stars on it. They're all replaced by little swastikas. And then under that, there's the one I was referring to. There's the front page of yesterday's UK Daily Mirror, and it says, how can 59,054,087 people be so dumb? And above a very unflattering Alfred E. Newman-like picture of him, it says, Do, 4 more years of W. Do. And underneath that, there's the Michael Moore thing, which thanks to the, if that guy wouldn't have tipped us off on that yesterday, we might still be not noticing that. It looks like Bush behind barbed wire, and that's, but if you check the barbed wire, each square, there's another face. I'm assuming that those are the American dead, the soldiers that he sent off to be slaughtered. Human sacrifice crowd. So there you go, some really neat stuff to keep you busy and occupied. Give you a little chuckle or two. You'll be mad, you'll be amused, you'll be whatever you'll be, And there it is. As we continue. See, one thing about me, I'm not letting up. I'm just going to continue plodding right along. You know me, I'm just a hard ass. I'm going to keep plodding along. And if it's not here, maybe it'll be somewhere else.
The Howard Stern Show. Neil Rogers, mornings and middays. And sports around the clock. 560 QAM.
Oh, God.
From pop superstar Ashley Simpson comes this year's most highly awaited concert album. It's Ashley Simpson, Barely Live, featuring all her hits as performed on stage, like Pieces of Me.
On a Monday, I'm waiting. Tuesday, I'm forgetting.
Ashley Simpson, Barely Live is the concert album that sounds too good to be true. Almost as good as not being there. Ashley Simpson, Barely Live. Available wherever fine music is sold.
Now you can imagine, I'm dubbing that yesterday into my DCS, and I'm listening and I'm thinking, gee, is this CD player acted up again?
Damn it.
So it sounded like it, didn't it?
It did. I thought it was.
But it won. Thank goodness it won. Oh, what the hell is all this stuff here? Too many pages of this, okay? Too much stuff. Whose is this?
That copy?
Yeah.
from Gary. It's copying some copy.
Gary Sarner?
Right.
How did I know that?
Starts Monday.
This did not exactly put a big bright smile on my face. This man said, what am I supposed to do with this stuff? Wipe my ass with it? Is this a crazy person or what? Yes?
Look, it's too much instead of too little, so you should be happy.
No, I'm not anything from Gary Sarner. If you'd have told me who it was from, I'd have said no chance.
Oh, come on.
In fact, I could fix this deal right now for him real good. You have no idea how fast I could take care of that deal.
I have an idea.
David in Miami says, happy birthday. Thank you, David. You get to be 62, you're like almost a senior citizen. In some places, you actually get a discount. How do you like that?
Oy.
That's right. And you start walking kind of like crooked and cockeyed. It would appear that Bush is already on his way to create new jobs. There are thousands of new grief counselors. Suicide hotlines have increased their staff tenfold, and Halliburton's adding 10,000 employees with the expectation of the upcoming gravy train. Well, let them eat dog food. How do you like that, David, huh? The old gravy train, which is made from diseased animal parts, by the way. If you love your dog, don't feed it gravy train, please. Or no, I'm not thinking of gravy. Sorry, pardon me. It's Alpo, not gravy train.
Okay.
You love gravy train, right? No, not really.
Makes
Here's Cookie says, happy birthday, you old fart. Many happy Bush years ahead of you. And not only they got this one all wrapped up now that they stole again, evidently according to Greg Palast, which I will read that column, but also they got 8 years planned for Jeb. Forget about that Rudy Giuliani guy. They got 8 years planned for Jeb, and then George P., another 8 years for him. America's going to be Bush country. Yeah. Pat McFarland says, I think that all 55 million of us who did not vote for GWB should shave our pubic hair, place them in envelopes, and mail them to the White House with a note that says, this is the only Bush I trust, Mr. President. I think our founding fathers who participated in the Boston Tea Party would be proud. Excellent idea, Pat. You go, girl, or guy, whatever you are. Pat can be anything, right? Right. Pat Hayden, right? Mm-hmm. Pat,
McGroin.
Who?
It's an Irish guy.
Oh. Pat McGroin?
Mm-hmm.
No, thanks. Tidy Group, and I will do this one thing, because this just came across, and I just got more stuff for later on, you know? And this business is starting at 10:30, 10:20. Hey, Howie, you guys are getting paid a lot of money. You better get with it. A group linked to Osama bin Laden's Al-Qaeda network threatened the U.S. with reprisals after the alleged re-election of President George W. Bush, warning of unbearable hell in a website statement. The coming days will show you that the one you preferred will lead you to an unbearable hell, said the group calling itself the Abu Hafs al-Masri Brigades, after the Al-Qaeda military chief killed in Afghanistan October 2001, they're named. It was not possible to immediately verify the statement. The same group claimed responsibility for those train bombings in Madrid last year. Although the criminal Bush has spilt blood of Muslims during the last 4 years, and despite the butcheries that he committed and continues to perpetrate in Afghanistan, in Palestine, and in Iraq, we see that the applause of his people is increasing, it said today. This shows the nature of the American people who approved the war against Islam led by criminal America, it adds. Comes just days after that videotape of Osama Yamama, who's still on the loose. We're going to hunt him down, and we're going to smoke him out of his hole. Mm-hmm. Well, it's a long hunt, you know. WQAM, hello.
Hello.
Yes,
Neil.
sir. Yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Also, they shot us 4 times, and we're still alive. Thank you for 28 years of helping the gaming industry, helping getting slot machines. You know, I spoke to Dick Feinberg a few times, and I always mention you to him, Neil. Also, remember the first person that won the scratch-off ticket for $1 million back in 1988?
Yeah.
It was a born-again. I'll mail you the article out of the Herald. It was a born-again that said he found it on the sidewalk outside of his paint shop, but he didn't rip it up or give it to the church. He mailed it in himself. Mm-hmm. And he won the $1 million, and he said he would vote against the lottery again. Well, when they start the slot machines, guess who's going to be winning the first $1 million with the 25-cent slot machine? Father O'Toole and the archdiocese that fought it so long, because they'll be right there with the rest of us, Neil.
You bet.
And again, you've always been good to the gaming. You've always been good for casinos and slots, and that's part of the reason why it was 2-1 in Broward, without a doubt. You plugged it away like I did.
Well, I'm going to tell Dick Feinberg that when I come down, I want to make sure he shows me who the loose machines are.
Oh, yeah. Also, the Seminoles will do fine, because the losers are the cruise to nowhere. Now there's Class 3. People will come to the Seminoles and the tracks. People going to Biloxi.
This isn't Stan Wertheimer, is it?
Of course.
Oh, my
But
God.
I had a call, and it's your birthday. It's your birthday, Neil.
I realized that you had those craggy, worn hands, and I thought to myself, that must be Stan Wertheimer.
Well, working on the beach so long.
Say goodbye.
Okay, bye-bye, Neil.
Bye. Why didn't you tell me?
Oh, I thought you knew.
No, I didn't know. Because I think he had a sock over it and the phone too or something. Huh?
It's not mistakable.
No, it was like
no one else sounds like that.
Huh?
No one else sounds like that.
Wow. Well, thank God for that. Well, thanks a lot, Stan. There's a guy that keeps fighting and fighting and fighting a good fight, although he had nothing to do with this. I put it over. I'll take the credit for it, or at least I helped out.
There you go.
Yeah, I did. Made people aware of this, and once they hear this article, which I'm sure most of them haven't read it or had anybody read it to them, and realize that most of the money that came to oppose this was from the biggest bunch of phonies and hypocrites. It frosts my ass even to think about it. That the people who are in the gaming business themselves are running ads saying, "Oh, this is going to spoil South Florida's family tourist image," and in the meantime, then they admit, "Well, we just are afraid of the competition." In addition to which, they're going to be able to stick in the same damn kind of slots in their place anyway now. Talk about short-sighted. Man, oh man, oh man. It's enough to make me want to become a
engine killer.
Just like Mifo. Remember old Mifo?
He was an engine cheater.
Me for the money and you for the show, or however the hell that go. Mifo. I wonder how Mifo. Well, he'll probably be on the station again pretty soon. And all the rest of us bail out. 5670560. And then that thing you sent me from the unmentionable one this morning from Miss Muff. Don't waste your time. Some people don't get the message. Those people, the three of those people, the upper and middle level management people, they don't exist with me. If you want to have any contact with me, go through George, go through Norma Kent, anybody else. I'm not going to subject myself to that anymore. I'm too old for that crap. For all these temper tantrums for spoiled little children.
Did you say the Norm? Did you do this? Did Norm do that?
Go away, okay? Grow up already. Get a life. Quit banging your spoon on the table like a 2-year-old infant. God. That Miss Muff, man, that one right there. Enough to give anybody a nervous breakdown. He could pee off the Pope. WQAM, hello. Or on the Pope. QAM.
I could do that.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, and by the way, Marico!
Yeah, WQAM, hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
I just wanted to say a few things if I could. I was talking to a
America's listening, man.
I was talking to a buddy of mine who voted for Bush, even though he knows what it's all about, because, he wasn't going to trust somebody that was going to ask France and Germany to protect our country, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said, yeah.
And, exactly. And he's like, well, Iran's next. I'm like, well, let me see. Iran's about twice the size of Iraq. We can't even control Iraq.
Right.
So where are we getting the troops from?
And Iran, of course, specializes in terrorism. That's where they fund and they train most of the terrorist groups. And Iran's got like zillions of all kinds of nuclear weapons, possibly that they're either developing or they already got. We don't really know. And plus we got all these extra troops.
Right. And well, here's the kicker. He tells me, that's where Israel comes in. We're going to let the Jews go in and help us. And I'm like, are you nuts?
Yeah.
The Jews have problems with terrorism now. If they get involved in this mess.
Exactly.
Insane. But anyway, Neil, from a Cuban Julio, we love you. Thank you for everything, and keep up the fight, buddy.
Hasta que no vidas, amigo.
Ciao.
Arrivederci. 5670560, pound, find out. Everybody calm down a little bit, okay? You seem a little bit pent up and whipped up to a frenzy today. I want you to calm down a little bit. That article about Al-Qaeda threatening that because you put Bush in there again, we're going to have a bloodbath. That shouldn't get, we're not reading those things on the show to get people psychotic or nervous or scared, things like that. In fact, the Bush people already did a pretty good job of that. Yeah, get them all scared, get them all whipped up into a frenzy, and then, of course, find the old scapegoat, It's amazing, 30 years of this, and they're still going strong with the old fag scapegoat. Mm-hmm. Once the dark folks finally got a few, got the right to vote, and they kind of gave up on those folks because they can't get, 23% of self-hating fags voted for Bush. That's got to be, the 25% of Jews that voted for Bush, that's ugly enough. But 23% of the latest scapegoats voted for Bush, Alice Rantel, Miss Fudge, all you other self-hating faggots. As a matter of fact, maybe they'd like to, maybe if you're feeling a little cross, we could hang you on one. Yeah.
It's not a straight one either.
Let's crucify some fags for Bush is what I say, and I know exactly the ones that we can start with. Who the hell are you people kidding? Same thing I've been telling you. Jews for Hitler, blacks for David Duke, the same mentality, man. Fags for Bush. You people make me sick. Like the one you were telling me about at a certain place, which I won't mention.
Okay.
The disc jockey you were telling me about?
Yeah, at Treasure Island. Go
screaming.
Go say hi.
No, man, don't.
What?
Don't do that.
They're wonderful people there.
They're wonderful people, but don't say it again, okay? That's not the point. Jesus, you just open up,
cool.
just keep your legs shut.
All right.
And your ass. Let's see, are you really 62? Yes, I'm really 62. You don't look a day over 61, says Lisa. AMC is now playing Once About a Time. No, it's not Once About. It's Once Upon a Time in America, but you're close, Lisa. In your honor, it's a blast to listen to you and watch the movie at the same time. I don't understand what that means, do you? I'm missing something there, Lisa. Also, GWB will celebrate your birthday later today by destroying various urban areas in Iraq. Excellent, good, go get them. So do you think Yasu's got... Oh, gee, that's very sad. That's very, very sad.
How would he have gotten it?
A very sick piece of work. Or piece of something that I can't say on the air. What?
How would he have gotten it?
Forget about it. Just move on, okay? Just keep moving on. Move it on.
Rectum.
God, you are really off your feed today. You need to take Monday off, mister.
All right, that's a good idea.
WQAM, hello. QAM.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes.
Is this Neil Rogers?
I think so.
Oh.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Neil to Earth.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday.
Well, thanks a lot.
I've been a fan of yours since the Zeta days.
Oh, boy.
Hey, Neil, 3 years away from you going to the early birds. That's something to look forward to.
Neil wakes me up in the morning. Neil wakes me up with a smile.
Yeah, that's enough of that. Let's go back onto Zeta. What do you say? Kick those bastards off of there. Get a real show on there. 5670560, pound 560, or at least get on a real station that somebody can hear. I'm hearing all kinds of complaints about our signal getting worse all the time. Did we do anything about? I asked this with a straight face.
I spoke to Clarence about it, and he was monitoring it all day yesterday.
About the streaming on the internet?
Right. He said
what?
There were some dropouts, not a lot. He was going to listen some more today and talk to the powers that be about what can be done.
There were some dropouts? Yeah, most of them work on this radio station.
And there you are.
So what does that mean?
That means he's acting like he cares.
He's on the case, is what you're trying to say.
Right.
He is a case. I don't want to hear about him. Don't mention his name or the other two, okay? I don't want to hear nothing about them, near them. I don't want to smell them. I don't want to know from them. The grave robbers, the life destroyers, especially on my birthday, okay? That's the very least they can do is leave me the F alone.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560
That includes you too, Gary Stoner.
Friday, you bastard.
Every night on The Tonight Show, Jay Leno makes fun of Kevin Eubank's alleged pot smoking. And now, all these reefer references are on one CD. The best of Jay Leno's marijuana references.
Oh, yeah. Did you see all that smoke billowing from Mount St. Helens that way? I'll tell you, it looked just like Kevin's dressing room to me.
Oh, come on, Jay. The best of Jay Leno's marijuana references features hit after hit.
Apparently, as a result of slow sales, Twinkies has filed for bankruptcy. I guess that means Kevin's stash has run out, huh?
Oh, that ain't right, Jay, man. That ain't right. It's the CD you'd have to be high to buy.
And it's time for headlines, ladies and gentlemen. Just actual items from actual papers. And Kevin, I'm not talking about the kind of papers you have to lick.
Oh, Jay, that's cold, man. That's cold. The best of Jay Leno's marijuana references.
Score a copy today.
You know what? That ain't right. It's 11:01 at 560 WQM. Now we can officially begin the show. If you're just tuning in now, you missed a half hour of crap.
Yeah, nothing.
Chris Stern bailed out about 10:29 this morning again. Bailing out early, so I don't know what that's all about. I guess he's kind of like winding it down, you know, now that he's going to go to Sirius. He's winding it down. Why overdo it, right, when you're on the way out? Here's the deal. Which of these is most accurate? Bush won the election because 2,789 votes. We got to hurry because I want to get to first poll. We're only going to do it till noon, then we'll change. Because of fear and stupidity, 934. Born-again nutjob, 672. Because he was a better choice than Kerry, 307, 11%. Huh. Because they stole it, 295. Because the Democrats are inept, 277. Because of Karl Rove, 206. Because of 9/11, 81. And because he had more money behind him, 17. Now, beat it current today is Brigitte Bardot. And that's all you need to know. It's Brigitte Bardot and Jackie Moe. And old Moe. And here's the first poll today. We'll get it up there right away since Eric has done such a great job. Don't forget to look at neilrogers.com, and we've got a whole bunch of great Bush pictures, including especially the front page of the UK Daily Mirror, where it says 59 million, whatever the number is. How can so many people be so dumb? And then underneath that is the one that was on the Michael Moore website yesterday, the big picture of Bush with a barbed wire in front of him, and then you look very closely at the barbed wire, and you see each square is the face of another dead American soldier whose life was sacrificed by the man behind the barbed wire. Just the kind of great stuff you'd expect from Michael Moore. Here's the first poll today, this hour only. Okay?
Okay.
Why do you think Americans are so obsessed with religion?
Oi!
Here are the choices. Ignorance. Well, why did you send this to me? Why do you keep sending me those? It's bad enough that you have to see them.
I told him we didn't have to get those.
Oh, God. Anyway, ignorance. It's a big tax-free business. Televangelists. It's part of being a redneck, or because God loves America.
Neil, God!
I think that's 5 pretty good choices myself. Why do you think Americans are so obsessed with religion? Ignorance. It's big tax-free business. Televangelists. It's part of being a redneck, or because God loves America. The Lord is shining down upon us, making us free. First gay Hispanic woman elected as Dallas sheriff. One-time migrant farm worker Lupe Valdez. Oh, I love that name. Lupe Valdez. Made history this week when she became the first woman and the first Hispanic elected Dallas County sheriff, not to mention the first Democrat to win a post since the mid-'70s. She's also openly gay, kind of like the Bull Dyke daughter of Dick and Lynn Cheney, Mary Cheney. She's gay.
Triple trouble.
Wow. The Gay and Lesbian Victory Fund, a political action committee that endorsed Valdez and trained her on answering questions related to her sexual orientation, hailed her as the first ever Latina lesbian sheriff. I can imagine my mom crying for joy last night as this happened, Valdez said yesterday, a day after defeating Republican Danny Chandler. In Valdez's vision, her deceased mother looked down from heaven and watched her girl go from picking beans in a field, see Beaner, to leading a 1,900-employee law enforcement agency with a $90 million budget. The road to the sheriff's office started years ago when Valdez's mother encouraged her to better herself through education. After working 2 or 3 jobs at a time to pay for college, Valdez became a federal agent. She worked undercover on drug, organized crime, and fraud cases for U.S. Customs. Now she'll take over a department tainted by scandal. Questionable business dealings by 21-year incumbent Sheriff Jim Bowles resulted in a grand jury investigation and an indictment that eventually was thrown out. Chandler, a 29-year Sheriff's Department veteran, ousted Bowles in the Republican primary. Chandler, 53, attacked his former boss during the campaign, hoping to distance himself from Bowles, but that strategy failed. The election campaign was generally cordial until the end, when Chandler made an issue of Valdez's endorsement by the Gay and Lesbian Victory Fund based in Washington. Chandler issued a statement Wednesday expressing his confidence in Valdez's ability to restore trust to the office, saying, she'll have the privilege of leading the finest crime fighters in the country. Margot Frazier, Wednesday, 1,350-employee Travis County Sheriff's Department in Austin, expressed her delight with Valdez's election, but said a woman serving as sheriff faces hurdles. The reality of it is, when you make mistakes that anybody else makes, they decide that you made a mistake because you're a woman, Frazier said. But once the good old boys in Dallas County realize Valdez is competent, Frazier said, she'll earn their respect, and her gender, race, and sexual orientation won't matter much, will it?
Damn old Dyke. Damn old Beaner Dyke.
Right?
Commie Beaner Dyke.
Okay, we got that poll up there. Let's see. I'm just going to vote, I don't know. Ignorance. A lot of stupid people out there, like the Daily Mirror said. Ignorance. Oh, the Bible said, and the Lord said. Anybody who believes any of that stuff is dumber than a box of rocks, okay? Just read the first page of Genesis, okay? What's that bit? Genesis of the new. What is that called? The Bible.
Rapping Bible.
Rapping Bible. I love that thing. In fact, I should play all of those things today since we're so religious.
On Good Friday.
And then the Lord said, "Let there be light." And lo, there was light. From the same people who brought you the much-beloved Talking Bible comes a new 10-volume set, brilliantly updated for the 80s. Yes, it's the Rapping Bible.
There was dark everywhere. Then the man said, light, and the light was there. He said, I've done good, there's no doubt. On the 7th day, he just chilled out. Genesis, beginning of that, beginning of this.
Finally, the good book is bad, and his word is wicked.
Check it out. There's a town called Sodom and Gomorrah. Everybody parties like no tomorrow. God looked down, said, not my fault. Don't look back or you'll turn to salt. Lot's wife took a piece, started to freeze. The cow came up and licked her cheek. Take a lick, y'all, of a cheek, y'all.
Imagine all the songs, all the parables, every sacred biblical word interpreted by the finest sucker MCs of all time.
Genesis, Exodus,
The Rapping Bible, making his word fresh again.
Happy birthday to me. It's 11:07. I did that for the crowd that's just tuning in at 11 o'clock to be a self-serving.
Right.
Happy birthday to me.
And Berkeley.
And Berkeley, too. Happy birthday, Berkeley. She's a sweetheart. She actually even got me a card. Anybody else there get me a card? No. It's okay. You could just make it up and lie and say, oh, you got a whole stack of them stacked up there.
No.
You got a whole stack of them stacked up there? No.
No.
It's okay. Feeling is mutual.
I sent you an e-card.
No, I'm not talking about you. 49 votes. Why do you think Americans are so obsessed with religion? 41 say, ignorance. Good choice. It's a big tax-free business, 5. Because God loves America, too. It's part of being a redneck, 1, and televangelist, none. They don't have evidently that much influence, okay? They're busy getting laid. Now, I want you to listen very carefully so you understand all these values, people, moral values, all this other BS. Liars. Liars, devious, dangerous, selfish, nasty, miserable mothers. It says, in the Sun Sentinel, after losing 3 efforts to expand gambling in the past quarter century, supporters of a state constitutional... You hear that in the back? Pronto. Yeah. Pronto. Pronto, tonto. It must be the Indians calling. They heard me say pronto, tonto. Get lost, okay? Go see the little Lone Ranger. After losing 3 efforts to expand gambling in the past quarter century, supporters of a state constitutional amendment that could put slot machines at 7 South Florida racetracks and frontons penned victory yesterday. Buoyed by the results of absentee and provisional ballots and the repair of a glitch in Broward County's counting machinery, Amendment 4 passed by more than 93,000 vote margin. This is a great day because education was a big winner today. $500 million a year to help our schools and help our kids, said former State Education Commissioner Jim Horn, chief spokesman for the proponents. The amendment allows Broward and Dade counties to hold separate referenda on adding slot machines. By the way, the word is not referendums, it's referenda. On adding slot machines alongside betting windows at 7 pari-mutuel venues, including Gulfstream Park in Hallandale Beach and Calder Racecourse in Miami Gardens, it says. Is that Miami Gardens? I thought that was Carroll City. Well, not Carroll City. What is that?
I don't know.
Not Carroll City. Well, what is that area?
Lemon City.
What is it?
I don't know. Lemon City?
Anyways, Lemon City is in Miami. Gulfstream Park, how come it doesn't mention the other ones like Pompano Park and Dania High-Line, Miami High-Line? And who am I leaving out? And Hollywood Dog Track? Right? And Flagler. How come we left those out? You idiots at the Sun Sentinel. Anyway, supporters, which include the Florida School Board Association and the State Teachers Union, have promised taxes on the slot revenues could raise $500 million the first year to supplement education statewide, as much as $2.5 billion over 5 years. And the final count showed it passing. I don't want to give the numbers. Again, by more than 93,000 votes. Citing obvious local support, Broward County Mayor Eileen Lieberman, no relation to Jew Lieberman, said she would like the measure to go before the voters as soon as the municipal election in March and wants the county commission to debate the issue at its December 14 meeting. What's there to debate? Just get it on there, okay? And don't be dilly-dallying, all right? Now, here's the part. I want you to get right on the edge of your seat. I want you to crank up the radio. I want you to roll down the windows in your car. I want you to listen very carefully to these next couple of paragraphs, okay?
Okay.
The statewide victory came in spite of a $5.6 million no-on-4 anti-gambling campaign financed by the Seminole tribe in the 2 weeks leading up to Tuesday's election. How do you like that?
Injun killer.
The ads warned that slots at South Florida's pari-mutuels would ruin the state's family-friendly tourist reputation. We felt we had to protect the assets of the Seminole tribe, which we've been doing since the days before Columbus, said Max Osceola, Seminole tribe councilman from Hollywood, who admitted he never saw the TV ads financed by the tribe, which owns the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Everyone has the right to voice an opinion, he says. How do you like that? Then also his opponents include the Humane Society of the United States and Grade 2K USA, yada yada. They may consider a legal challenge a fat chance. Now, where's the other quote? Did I Schmidt can the other story where he says, the Indian people, about how, I can't find it. It must have been the Herald story. About how, well, now I guess that they got them in there. We can do it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have kept the other story. Should have, mixed and matched. But at any rate, that's what they're saying now. Oh, well, guess what? We can put them in there, too. They finally woke up and said after they, behind the scenes, try to keep it quiet who the hell was putting up the money behind it. In other words, it's okay for the Seminoles to take your money at phony baloney slot machines. But they just wanted to avoid the competition, that's all. They actually said that. We just were afraid of the competition.
Right.
So they put these ads on to scare the public. Oh, it's going to bring in violent crime, and it's going to bring in the mafia, and it's going to bring in drugs and prostitution, and the world is going to come to an end as we knew it, and yada, 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 and smoke the peace pipe. Yeah. Who the hell are you people kidding, okay? Man, oh man, a Shevitz. And of course, they got nothing to lose because now that it passed, they're going to wind up getting the same thing anyway at their places. So what's the problem?
Competition.
Everybody's going to get their own piece of the pie. You don't have to be paranoid. And by the way, quit selling all them damn cigarettes with the bugs in them. 11:13 at 5. I see that's the way they're getting back at the white man now, selling all them cigarettes, them tainted cigarettes. All them little bugs crawl out of them. 11:13 at 560 WQAM. It's that time of the year again. The snowbirds and relatives come down from the north for the winter. Well, this winter, why not give them something special? A great night's sleep on a new mattress from Dial a Mattress, where they carry the complete line of bedding from Sealy, Serta, Simmons, King Coil, Tempur-Pedic, and even Stearns and Foster Hewitt. Call 1-800-MATTRESS right now and save up to an additional 20% off their super low factory direct prices on select models. Call 1-800-MATTRESS right now and choose the day and time delivery within any 2-hour window that's convenient for you when you want them to show up any day, 7 days a week from 8 in the morning till 10 at night. Everybody with a brain is calling Dial a Mattress because they know it sure beats schlepping around wasting time, gas, and money at those bedding and department stores where you help them pay for their big overhead. With low prices, same-day delivery, free setup and removal, it's easy to see why Dial a Mattress is absolutely unbeatable and ranked #1 in the world in customer satisfaction. Dial a Mattress even received the prestigious Better Business Bureau's Torch of Excellence Award. So give them a call today. You'll be sleeping like a baby as soon as tonight and for years and a coon's age to come. Check them on the web if you like at mattress.com. But even sooner than that, call 1-800-MATTRESS. Pick up that thing and dial 1-800-MATTRES.
You're listening to Neil Rogers. 560 QAM.
Friday, you bastard.
Hello, I'm John Kerry, and when I'm president, I'll make life better for all Americans, including Dick Cheney's gay daughter Mary. I will fight for your health care rights, whether you're single, married, or gay, like Dick Cheney's daughter Mary. I will work to eliminate the deficit, because taxpayers, like Dick Cheney's gay daughter Mary, deserve better. And so, on November 2nd, make your preference clear and vote for me, John Kerry. I'm John Kerry, and I approve Dick Cheney's gay daughter Mary.
It's 11:18 at 560 WQAM. See if they would have just run that one ad a few more times. I think it'd put them over the top. Greg Palast says, why is that thing ringing back there again? Pronto? Man, I understand, but it's not supposed to ring. It's supposed to be very silent. But at least it spices it up a little bit. I got two great columns for a little bit later. The one by Greg Palast, who insists that Kerry won. He approves it. And then here's Onward Christian Soldiers, a lengthy article from The Guardian UK. And now they're saying, well, The Guardian, that campaign they ran in Ohio to try to get people to vote against Bush and all this other stuff, it blew up in their face and it pissed people off, and that's what made Bush win. Well, guess what? No, don't buy it. 138 votes. Why do you think Americans are so obsessed with religion? Then we'll change the poll at noon. We'll do our annual religion poll, and we'll find out what kind of fairy tales, what kind of great beliefs you got. Eric, by the way, I left off Southern Baptist on there. I wrote it in afterward. I guess maybe Josh could probably type it on afterward if Eric don't have it. Yeah, Southern Baptist. He's got it. I'm sure he's on top of it right now. And that's assuming that we're streaming on the Internet. And that you can hear it.
We are today, apparently.
Are we really? We're streaming it?
Yes, we are.
Well, great. Open wide. 138 votes. Why do you think Americans are so obsessed with religion? Ignorance, 103. It's a big tax-free business, 14. Because God loves America, 11. It's part of being a redneck, 6. Televangelist, 4. Now, there's probably something else I should have put on there that would be a little bit more benevolent, like, I can't imagine what that would, would that be? Huh?
Like what?
Like maybe brainwashing? I don't know. Because they're brainwashed?
That works.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Because they're brainwashed. Add that on there real quick. We still got 41 minutes. Because they're brainwashed. Like that. And you people that are brainwashing your kids with all these fairy tales and make them run around with those beanies on their heads and go and stick them rosary beads and keep rubbing them beads, etc. You people ought to be in prison somewhere, okay? You cultists, you Satanists, you devil worshippers, you lunatics, you flat earth people, man. My patience for religious nuts, as limited as it was before Tuesday, now forget about it. From a personal standpoint, I declare all-out war against the God Squad.
I'm going to do like the Amish and shun them.
The Amish voted for Bush.
See, I don't believe that. That was a little
I don't care whether you believe it or not. They actually came out because of the fag marriage thing got them so whipped up into a frenzy. By the way, you faggots out there, Massachusetts, that's fine. Massachusetts, carry all that liberal stuff. That's okay. Keep it there for a while. But the fact that they try to spread it out, America's not ready for it. So you're trying to imitate like Canada and Holland and Scandinavia. You're not ready for that. Maybe another couple of 100 years, okay? And so what you did was you gave them a perfect issue to mobilize these Farbissina Goyim out there, these right-wing lunatics. Plus, I see 25% of the Jews voted for Bush, which is enough to make me gag, enough to make me spit up my kishki, or just tear out my kishkis. God Almighty! I may even pass on Homentosh in this coming Purim in whenever the hell it is this spring, just out of pissed offness, just as a protest against them Jews for Bush. Well, he's so good for Israel. Well, toxicoloys you Israelis, okay? Enough with that crap. Who cares? With your damn ugly desert over there and all that slaughter that's been going on for 5,000 years. You crazy bastard. You killing all them little kids and blowing up your own kids. All that stuff going on. The whole rest of the world's got to pee in their pants because the Arabs and the Jews hate each other, which is nothing new. And then, of course, 23%, like I said before, the fags voted for Bush, which is just... I guess you just can't wait to, they have a burning desire to be burned. Yeah.
Well, they're flaming already.
Yeah, those flamers out there. The Alice Rantel and Miss Fudges and the Andrew Sullivans of the world. Oh, I guess Andrew Sullivan, that queen voted for Kerry, supposedly. That self-hating fag. And other self-hating. I think that Ann Coulter is doing Laura Ingraham. I really believe it. Here's a fax from the Beast. Thanks a lot, Beasto. He says, just wanted to wish you a very happy birthday. Do they have a New England Patriots fan club up there in Toronto? If so, I'm on my way. Here's my simple slogan, FW. Go Pats. Happy birthday again to Beast. Who do the Patriots play this weekend?
I don't know.
Josh, I don't know.
You're the Pats fan.
I know, but I don't follow the schedule. I mean, I know now. What about the Dolphin game? Is it being televised local or not?
I can't imagine it.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
We're supposed to be the Dolphin station. I also see Mo Howard David did he did some other game on Sunday because the Dolphin game was a Monday night game, that embarrassment. So he did some other game on the network.
Yeah, I heard that.
On Sunday. He does a good job. He's a good player. I mean, he's a little confused at times, but he still is a good play-by-play, the old Mo. He's all right. I mean, he's no Greg Gumball, which they stuffed him back in the broom closet where he belonged. Anyway, I don't know who the Patriots play. Thanks, Beast. Here's one from Simone, who says, a Freilichen Geburtstag. Is that Dutch? I would imagine. Geburtstag, that's got to be Dutch. Anyway, thanks to you for over 20 years of fabulous radio. Thanks, Simone. Love you.
They play the Rams.
Huh?
They play the Rams.
Oh, the Rams. Well, that could be pretty interesting. The Rams are kind of like in and out. They don't play the Rams. They already beat the Rams. They're not going to play the Rams twice. Who told you that?
They're definitely playing the Rams.
They're playing the Rams?
Yeah.
I would have sworn that I'm thinking of we beat Seattle. Right?
Right.
Beat the Seahawks. And that big fat tub of crap. The old cheesehead. Let's see, here's another. And that fax you sent me from that Rick guy, See, on Thanksgiving Day, George and I, before the show, we worked out the schedule. And being the nice guy that I am, I'm going to let George, because he's a family guy, have off Thanksgiving Day and the day following. The day following, too, did we say?
Yes.
Oh, wow. So I'm working both of those days. So on Thanksgiving Day, so they'll only have to bring in one person, because who the hell wants to work on Thanksgiving? We'll just play bits. So maybe on that day I'll play Young Neil, or not. If you keep bugging me, Rick, I probably won't play it, because you get on my nerves. Here's a long fax that says, sorry for the long faxes, but you're my only outlet to vent. As Howard Beale said, we're in a lot of trouble. That's what Howard Beale said. I think that was right after he got through saying...
I'm as mad as hell, but I'm not going to take this anymore. Oh!
But I'm not going to make myself crazy for the next 1,456 days and counting. I'm off newspapers, CNN, MSNBC, and other news outlet. I may become uninformed, but I'll retain my sanity. Yesterday, the federal government announced it would raise the deficit ceiling, and nobody cares. That's right. Nobody cares. Well, that's because we got this $5.2 trillion deficit we're going to have from Bush's Social Security scam, so that all his friends in big business can get that money into their stocks. Oh, yeah. Siphon all your savings into the stock market, and then when you're ready to retire, you're going to have how many cents left?
About 30, man.
About 30 cents. Yeah, put in about 200 grand, you'll have about 30 cents to retire on. My only comfort comes from the knowledge that at some point in the next 2 years, there'll be a scandal that'll make Watergate and Monica look as meaningless as the NHL lockout. I think we already had one. It's called A War Based on Lies, in which thousands of innocent people have died and are continuing to die. I think that might be a little more important than Monica in the blue dress. The only problem, it says, is the right wing can spin anything out of the news. If Watergate happened now, Karl Rove would spin it to blame Clinton. If they catch Dick Cheney in the White House basement raping little boys, or GW accepting bags of cash from Halliburton or the Saudi royal family, it won't matter. They'll spin it and strengthen their nose-picking, trailer-trash, gun-loving evangelical Christian base, and there's nothing we can do about it. Can I sue the federal government for the ulcer I'm giving myself? Well, I'm late for my therapy. I have to try to live my life and ignore the nightmare, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Just cheer up a little bit, okay? See how many votes we got in that poll now, because this is a quickie. Why do you think Americans are so obsessed with religion? And keep in mind that the rest of the free world is not obsessed with religion. There is not. And you say, well, the Pope is in Italy. The Italians give him the old Bafangula in Italy. What is it, 3% or is it 7%? I think it's 3% of the people in Italy go to church. Every single time they put a thing on a ballot for the Italian people, they vote against the Pope because they know what a phony baloney, a bunch of crap that all is. Although they would like to see all that porno that got hidden away at the Vatican. Let's see. 153 say that you're so obsessed with religion because of ignorance. Ignorance. Stupid people. Idiotic jerks. Because God loves America, 20. It's a big tax-free business, 17. Because they're brainwashed, 11. It's part of being a redneck, 8. And televangelists, only 6. I guess they're not having a big impact. Maybe business is a little bit slow now, you know. But they sure stand for moral values. And don't forget, your president he promised to Pat Robertson, don't worry about the Iraq attack. There won't be no casualties. None. Not 1. 0. There ain't going to be no casualties. It's a man of God. It's a man of the cloth. This is not a man who would lie, a man who would spread BS. Phil says, wishing you a happy birthday. May this year bring you good health and joy in your life. Well, thank you, Phil. And maybe winning the lottery tomorrow night would be good, too, for 17 million, sorry. 11:27 at 560 WQAM. Do you have guests coming for the holidays? Are you wondering what to do with that dirty old carpeting in your home? Well, now's the time to get rid of that carpet and replace it with laminate or hardwood flooring from Laminate Designs. Visit Laminate Design Showroom at 8280 State Road 84 in Davie and choose from over 300 samples on display. Laminate Designs can have your beautiful new floor professionally installed in about a week. Call 1-877-8-LAMINATE to set up a free, no-obligation in-home estimate. If you call today and set up an appointment for your free estimate, tell them you want the WQM discount for an additional 10% off their already low installation price. Laminate Designs is located in Davie, just off I-595 between Pine Island Road and University Drive, and their showroom's open Monday through Saturday, 9 in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon, and every Sunday from 10 in the morning till 2. Look for Laminate Designs ad in today's Sunset Lifestyle section. Call 1-877-8-LAMINATE, L-A-M-I-N-A-T-E, 1-877-8-LAMINATE for Laminate Designs, the flooring company where service comes first.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
I thought Christianity was fairy tale.
Absolutely.
This religion thing was not for me. They held a big convention and let me in for free. I had no idea what I was about to see.
Boy!
They were speaking in tongues that made me a believer. It was kind of fun just to get out of my mouth. Speak in tongues. They got me believing my tongue is weaving from side to side. The Lord will now embrace me. I clap my tongue to the beat. Now, whatever I do, He'll forgive me. Because now I speak in tongues. That makes me a believer. And I'm having fun playing around with my mouth. Now I speak in tongues.
Bible says, no our neighbor, baby. Especially all them Jews and Spartans and faggots. It's 11:33, 27 till noon at 560 WQM. Happy Friday to you. Happy birthday to me and everybody else celebrating their birthday. Even our former friend Cheryl over there used to be at IOD.
That's right.
That's a raspberry.
Okay.
And if you like some other fruits, here's a fax from Debbie in Lauderdale who says, happy birthday and for your poll because they're weak. They're weak, like Al Martino's voice in The Godfather. Well, it's a little bit late putting that on there, but that's a good point. They're weak. They want to be led by somebody else, like a bunch of sheep. Here's another fax that says the fish are on WSBN Channel 7 this week because they bought up all the tickets listed to blackout. It says they have all Bill Kamal's money. I guess they're not paying her anymore, Weather Fairy Jr., so they used the salary money to buy up the tickets. They had to buy, I wonder how many tickets they had to buy up. I guess I could read it in the local fish wrapper, but why bother? So it says, just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Figured out I've been with you for 16 years. Well, that's for you. Now, here's a silly fax that says, happy birthday, fine, thank you, but it also says, we play the Cardinals. No, you play the Cardinals, not we. the Patriots, play the Rams at 4:15. I just looked up the starting time. It's in St. Louis, which I'm nervous about that because the Patriots haven't been playing well the last 3 weeks. But nevertheless, it says we play the Cardinals. No, that's you, that little girls team that you got that's 1-7. The little girl team plays the Cardinals at 1:15, and they had to buy up the extra tickets because a lot of people don't want to pay to go see that crap, and who the hell could blame them? And Wayne acts like he's like in frozen suspended animation now. Maybe borrowed Larry's suspenders, you know? Because he doesn't seem to be able to want to make a move or do nothing, you know? And, of course, Josh, his answer is, well, the season's lost anyway. Why bother, you know?
Yeah, it's over. It's
over.
Going to get a good draft pick.
You know what? Yogi said it ain't over till it's over. And you know what? It's over. It's all over. Okay, let's take a few calls, then we'll get to the Greg Palast column. Carry one, here are the facts. Which, you know, some people say, that's sour grapes. Well, he's got some really pretty interesting crap in there. And the Guardian, that onward Christian soldiers. Boy, what a sad, sad thing. And you wonder why the rest of the world is looking at this with just great dismay and terror. And they're not laughing. They're like horrified.
They're crying.
Horrified. Like that Guardian, that big black page that just had two little words in white in the center of it. Oh, God. After they saw the results. And that spells it out exactly right. And, of course, the Supremes now, they've already got the agenda going. They're talking about the Supreme Court. And there was Pat Buchanan doing his best Adolf Hitler imitation again, filling in for Chris Matthews on Hardball last night, rambling on about how America was repulsed by the specter of gay marriage, and as a result it motivated all these good born-again Christians to come out. They were repulsed. I thought he was going to, reprise his 92 convention speech that helped Clinton beat Bush.
See, if you faggots just stay in your place, we wouldn't
that's right. Pat Buchanan, that you're so fond of, by the way, but when push comes to shove, the true Nazi comes out.
Oh, it was just relatively speaking.
Yeah, well, forget about his relatives, like that Babe Buchanan. Is it Bay or Gay?
I think
she's probably another one.
Gay?
WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday, Chief.
Thanks.
Concerning the amendment, the gambling one, I'm just glad that we were lucky to catch the tail end of the come from behind.
Isn't that cute? Huh? WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, happy birthday.
Thank you. That was a lame attempt at humor, that guy. Very lame. Yes, sir.
Hey, my most recent job was working as a slot machine player down here, a professional slot machine player. You aware of those guys?
No, I never heard of such a thing.
Oh, there's about 6 teams, and what we do is we wait until the machines get up to a certain number, and then we sit down and we take up the whole bank. And
what do you mean up to a certain number? What does that mean?
Say on a $10 slot. When it gets up to about $110,000, $120,000, you will see the bank suddenly fill up at the same time. You'll see people standing all around the casino, and when someone gives a nod, you will see a move on a bank where everybody sits down and starts plunging their brains out until it goes off. I've worked on a machine over 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going on at Miccosukee, it's going on at the Hollywood, it's going on at Coconut Creek, and all the common people fill up these machines, then these 6 professional teams come in, and they just take the cream right off the top.
How the hell can you do that? I mean, how can you just decide you're going to sit down and take up all the machines? I mean, everybody just vacates when you blow the whistle or something, like flamingos at Hialeah?
No, you stand behind the regular person, but everybody starts plunging. You walk in there with literally $20,000 in cash in your pockets, and you start playing 4 boards at $10 a piece, and you never take your finger off. A normal person can't keep up with that, and eventually they fade out.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of 50 to 1, if there's 50 machines, you got 6 teams. Now the odds are only 6 to 1.
See, those aren't real slot machines. I don't even have any idea what you're talking about. That's what that bingo thing. That's a whole different. I don't even understand what that is.
It's the regular pick six progressive slots. That's $2.50, $5, and $10 machines in all the casinos here.
Yeah.
And the regular people should just watch. They'll see these hawks standing around and come take the cream right off the top. I made $750,000 for my company last year. I got paid $13,000.
I'll be damned.
Just thought you should know. Happy birthday.
Okay, thanks a lot. I have no idea what he was talking about. Do you?
No.
I thought I knew a little something about slots. I plunged my guts out. Of course, slots are only for fags like the guy in Niagara Falls that won $5.7 million last weekend.
And women. Old women.
Old women, Mm-hmm. See, this is another thing. It's like it's like faggots. You talk a lot about stuff you know nothing about, but that's okay. It's fine.
All right.
5670560 pound 560. And of course, a guy like you with your big bucks, you ought to be, you'll be the first one over there. You'll be at Gulfstream just plunging your guts out around the clock. I'm a little worried about you. You and Josh, you'll both be over there plunging like crazy.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're a big gambler. You went to Vegas there back whenever the hell that was. And how much did you bet?
I was up about $350.
You were up around 350 on what? But you weren't playing slots.
No, I just played blackjack.
See, Josh wouldn't play slots because that's only for fags and old ladies, okay? He was playing blackjack. That's for real men.
That's right. It's a manly-sounding name, blackjack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I knew him. Met him in an alley once.
How'd it go?
21 till noon at 560 QAM.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560.
A stench of cow manure hovers over this performance by the Dolphins.
Now the Pope depends on you and the powers you possess. Since you saved his life with your flying scissor knife, he's got a job for you to do. You have a brand new style too. We love the way you flaunt your due. With the big V on your chest and gold Bruce's high dress, defending those who are oppressed. Oi! Who's with the speed of a gazelle? Sends the bad guy straight to hell. When a building starts to blow with your units, then we know you're crushing crime with one mighty blow.
I'm sorry on the win.
11:44, 16 till noon at 560 WQAM. Here's a fax from Mitch in Miami. Says, phoning you is impossible and you've got no email possibilities. Well, that's the way we like it, Mitch.
Right.
I'm a long time... Oh, and by the way, my good friend Ian Framowitz, I did not go to the track last night, thank God, and I'm so sorry about your two horses, one of which the filly puked in the mid-stretch and finished fourth, and the other one broke at the start and finished... I don't even know if he finished the race, 400 lengths behind. Good guy, Ian, but he had a rough night last night. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm a long-time Republican. I hate where the party is, and I'm really scared where it's going. Let's not even talk about W and his despicable family. Okay, let's not, Mitch. I voted by absentee ballot. And me too, and I don't think mine counted, and it says I'm not sure mine was counted either. Don't you think there may have been enough to swing the election here in Florida? Point, why is this not a story even by the local stations in the media? Where's our investigative journalism in which we so proudly boast in our history? When was that? And don't you think Kerry conceded way too early? Something reeks and ain't just at all. Well, we'll get to the Greg Palast story after the top of the hour. What do you say? What do you say? What do you think?
Sure.
I got an interesting map here, which there are many of these mapas, mapa grande here, of the entire country, and the states. Oh, look at all that sea of red. Wow. Woo! And it's got the counties shaded. In other words, even within each state, the whole state is colored, whoever won, either red or blue. And then the counties, if it's a dark blue, it shows that Kerry won that county, and the rest of them, if it's light blue, means that Bush won that county, even though he lost the state. For example, in California, the overwhelming majority of the counties in California were won by Bush. The only counties that Kerry won were like San Francisco, Oakland, L.A., San Diego, where the people are, where the heavy population is. But all the rest of the counties, all the mugwumps, and of course Orange County, which goes without saying, they all went to Bush, even though Kerry won the state by over 10%, by over 1 million votes. In the state of Washington, up there in Seattle, dark blue. All around the entire rest of the state, light blue, Bush. Oregon, Portland, and Eugene, dark blue. The rest of the state entirely went to Bush. The state of Nebraska, you'll be amazed to know, there wasn't a single county where Kerry won. Kansas, he won one little teeny tiny county. That might be, no, it's not Kansas City. It's over in that area. Oklahoma, every county went to Bush. And you look at this thing and you wonder, you talk about two countries. You got the city slickers, those people with an IQ, most of us, larger than their thumbnail. And then you got the nose pickers. Florida, you look at this, Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, and Lee County. That is Lee over there on the west coast, right? Right across? Yeah. All went to Kerry. And then you skip one, is that Martin County, I guess? That went to Kerry. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other counties went to Kerry in Florida. Ohio, overwhelming majority of counties went to Bush. And up there by Cleveland, where all them dark folks and liberals are, that went all, of course, to Kerry. And the same in Michigan. Michigan, Detroit, and then like Ann Arbor, and a couple of other places. A few other counties went to Kerry, but generally speaking, most of the counties went to Bush, especially the farther north you get. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Texas, amazingly, there were several counties that went for Kerry, but with the exception of one of them, I guess that must be Austin. I'm just thinking, because this doesn't show the cities, so I'm just picking it out of my head, out of my butt. Austin, I guess, that went to Kerry. But in southern Texas, right by the Mexican border, there's like 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, about 15 counties that went to Kerry in Texas. But that's all them beaners, you know, Georgia's distant relative.
Yeah, right.
I said distant.
Uh-huh. Sorry.
5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular Wireless lines. Why do you think Americans are so obsessed with religion? What is this all about, this Christian fundamentalist, Farbissina, Orthodox Jew? And, you know, we make fun of I'm sure most of you do, too, even though you don't want to say it in public. You know, you see the Muslims, and they're rocking, and they're on their carpets, they're praying on the carpet, and they're kissing the floor and the carpet. And you make fun of that. What's the difference? Everybody's got their own rituals, their own headgear, their own ornaments, their own, beads and tchotchkes, as the Chinese say. And speaking of that, let me ask you this question. Who do you think blows the better kisses? Yasser Arafat or Sammy Sosa?
Sammy blows them faster.
We ought to take a poll on that, you know what? I mean, if we have to see Yasser Arafat blowing them kisses, come on, how many more are you going to do, Yasser?
About 30, man.
I think you're going to be doing too many more pretty soon. God, that is just nauseating, you know, with his quivering lip blowing the kisses. Yeah, Yasser Arafat blows. And so does Sammy Sosa when you come right down to it, because he used to play for George Bush. 327 votes. Ignorance, 196, because they're brainwashed, 62, because God loves America, 29. One nation under God, indivisible. It's big tax-free business, 23. It's part of being a redneck, 10, and televangelist, 7. Let's take a few calls. What do you say? Because we don't want to get everybody upset like Mitch that we can't get in. WQAM, hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
Oh, happy birthday to you.
Thank you, amigo.
Okay, listen, let me appeal to your good senses. You know, what will you do in a case like my case? You know, I'm a non-Cuban Julio that lives in a red state. I'm
my
gay.
God.
Yeah, I'm gay. I'm
Gay.
dying over here,
Gay.
and I can't
Oh, my
speak no
God.
more. What am I going to do?
Maricón.
Yeah.
Bugarrón. I just wanted to say it myself.
Thank you for the good advice, huh?
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, pal. And keep your chin up, so to speak.
Yeah.
He said he played a mean chin ball is what he said, okay? So leave him alone. He's un maricon and he's proud of it. Good for you, Pally. Bottoms up. WQAM, hello.
Neil,
Yes, sir.
the reason about the poll question, because we want our jihad to be better than their jihad.
Oh, that must be it.
That's it. All right, Neil.
In fact, that's a good bit for Boca Brian. My jihad's better than your jihad. That's even better than my religion. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I can hear it right now. With some of those things in there, too. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday, sir.
Muchas gracias.
Listen, Neil, I really can't believe it. I never voted. I voted for the first time this year.
Yeah.
But the fact that people are so against gay marriage and all this, that they will give up their freedoms and allow people to die and die.
Yeah.
But as long as the parts being taken care of.
They got to him.
Yeah, they got to you, man. They just zapped your phone. You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was the end of him. Sorry, Pally. They just zapped your phone, man. Yeah, well, gay marriage, I mean, that certainly affects a lot of people, doesn't it?
No.
I mean, that really is something that's very, very, people are involved in. Only the Goyim, man, only the hate mongers, and of course some of those Orthodox Jews. Even Phineas Weberman ain't against that, I'm sure, at this point, who all of a sudden saw the light. But it's just a religious extremist, man. Hate. I will guarantee you right now, I would bet George's life on it, that if they put up civil rights on the ballot in the South, and maybe even some of the states, like some of these red states, but just let's say the South, it wouldn't have a chance of passing.
Of course not.
If you just said, should blacks have the right to vote? Yes or no?
No.
And no chance. No chance. And if you put on a ballot, should women have a right to vote? I guarantee you that would be touch and go in a lot of those states.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's America for you, man. Nothing has changed in 100 and some odd years, 140 years since the Civil War. Very little has changed. They made some laws, they passed some laws. But you can't legislate attitudes. You can't legislate decency. You can't legislate compassion. You can't legislate fairness. You can make all the laws in the world, but when people are raised with bigotry and hate... I grew up, I told you this story a million times, across the street from a Catholic school in Rochester, New York, and the kids used to, a couple of times, beat me up because I killed Jesus. I said, I didn't even know the damn bastard, okay? What are you beating on me for?
So why'd you kill him?
You killed Jesus, you Jew bastard. And that's what they teach the best, man. That's what you people, you religious nuts, teach. Hate, hate, hate. So the gays, since Anita Bryant, the last, how many years now?
About 30, man.
Well, about 30 years. We've been the scapegoats. Medicones. Because the blacks, it's not so fashionable, even though they harbor tremendous hatred toward you dark folks. But, you know, you're just not supposed to say that in public anymore. But being homophobic, that's a very popular thing. You can do that. Although I will say, like I said before, America wasn't ready for this. To make it an issue was unacceptable. And that's why it got on a ballot in those 11 states under the guise of... see, the Defense of Marriage Act precluded that possibility anyway. It was red herring. It didn't need to be on the ballot. You don't need to pass any laws. But under the guise of, well, Massachusetts is doing it, and you see what those damn Canadians are doing up there, and them damn Dutch and Scandinavians, that next thing you know, we'll be forced. As if, of course, somehow it affects your life, which it does not. In any way, shape, or form. And like I said, that American Joe at Bass Pro Outlet off I-95 and Griffin Road, stop by there, win some of our prizes, too. Our prizes. WQAM, hello.
How you doing? Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right, as far as that map with my counties, I was looking at it too, and if you notice, most of the blue counties, that's where all the AIDS and crime and gays are at. So
yeah, right. Yeah, right. AIDS and crime and gays. Well, that goes hand in hand. Right. Yeah, like Dave Broward in Palm Beach, right? WQAM, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
This is Neil Rogers.
Speaking.
Wow. Hey, happy birthday, buddy.
Thanks, Pally.
So, man, the world has gone to hell.
I beg your pardon?
The world has gone to hell. This is like the most horrible thing that could have happened.
Yeah. Not the world, just America. Okay, that was it, I guess, huh? He was just so overwhelmed and so amazed that he was in touch with the Great One. Oh, that's right, I forgot. I'm not the Great One anymore. I used to be. We have a new Great One. Your good friend. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's take one final look, and we'll wrap this thing up, because next hour we'll just do that religion poll we do once in a while, just to see if we got any hope out there in this crowd. I'm pushing for the day when 100% of the audience is either atheist or agnostic. Oh, you're going to chase all of us believers away. Good. Bye-bye. Well, pack your salami sandwich, okay? Including you Orthodox Jews that make your kids wear them stupid little beanies, okay? You make me want to gag. And if you're I'll say it again. All you old Cubans that are so obsessed with Cuba, and all you old Jews that are so obsessed with Israel, see ya. See ya, no problem. Get on the old rowboats, okay? A little further trip over there to the Middle East, but I'm sure that God will help you along. No problem. Did I just do something wrong here?
Probably.
Well, no, I'm looking at I'm just checking because I'm like getting so far ahead of myself. Based on my extrapolation here, it's almost like 1:45.
The Howard Stern Show. Neil Rogers, mornings and middays. And sports around the clock. 560 QAM. This is Mark Morgan. It's the 12 to 1 hour on QAM.
Tired of the same boring old communion wafers at holiday mass? Open wide, Billy, and prepare to receive thy Savior.
Oh, geez, Father O'Malley, wafers again?
Now, Billy, this isn't just any wafer.
It's not?
No, through the divine miracle of transubstantiation, I've turned this ordinary wafer into the divine blessed body of Christ.
Well, why does the body of Christ have to taste so yucky?
Spice up your next communion with new Christ-A-Roni. Christ-A-Roni is a special blend of rice, spices, and seasonings, plus a bit of the body of Christ in every fluffy forkful. And Christ-A-Roni cooks up perfect every time, as he should.
Can I have some more Christ, Father?
That's Christ-A-Roni, Billy.
Amen to that.
Christ-A-Roni, the transubstantiation treat.
That's almost enough to make me want to play All You Can Eat Negro, you know, back when Phil was like a real person in those days. I might just play that today. Kill some good time.
All right, till 5
12:01 at 560 WQAM. Here's the final tally on the poll from when I printed this out anyway. And we can get the brand new one up there right now, Eric. Let's hop on it. Okay, and then you can go take a nap and have a couple of lunches. Why do you think Americans are so obsessed with religion, with fairy tales, with bubble-mices, with nonsense, with foolishness? All this insanity, all this bigotry and hate. If there's one thing I hate, it's hate. Ignorance, 215. Because they're brainwashed, 86. Ignorance and brainwashed. Like that. Like that little girl they had on that CNN piece who kept saying, oh, if you don't believe in Jesus, you're going to burn in hell. Because God loves America.
About 30, man.
30 vote on that. It's 8% say because God loves America. That's why he made the whole world, so he could hate everybody else, but he loves America.
Mm-hmm.
All the evildoers, he hates them.
for fodder.
Of course, God is perfect, so we couldn't possibly hate or be selfish like it says there in the Ten Commandments. If he's perfect, how could he be selfish? Don't confuse them with the facts now, you heathen bastard. No, but he's a selfish God, and you can't have any other gods. No, I can't be selfish because he's perfect. Well, don't ask. It's a big tax-free business, 25. It's part of being a redneck, 11. And televangelist, 7. Praise the Lord, and send us your money, okay? And there's that toll-free number at the bottom of your screen for Jan and Paul's crotch. Greg Palast, and if you listen to the show, you know who he is. He's a great columnist. He writes, Carry 1, here are the facts. Bear with me, okay?
Okay.
I know you don't want to hear it. You can't face one more hung Chad, but I don't have a choice. As a journalist examining that messy sausage called American democracy, it's my job to tell you who got the most votes in the deciding states Tuesday. In Ohio and New Mexico, it was John Kerry. Most voters in Ohio thought they were voting for Kerry. CNN's exit poll showed Kerry beating Bush among Ohio women 53 to 47%. Kerry also defeated Bush among Ohio's male voters 51 to 49%. Unless a third gender vote in Ohio, Kerry took the state. So what's going on here? Answer, the exit polls are accurate. Pollsters ask, who did you vote for? Unfortunately, they don't ask the crucial question, was your vote counted? The voters don't know. Here's why. Although the exit polls show that most voters in Ohio punched cards for Kerry Edwards, thousands of these votes were simply not recorded. This was predictable, and it was predicted. Once again, at the heart of the Ohio uncounted vote game are, I'm sorry to report, hanging chads and pregnant chads, plus some other ballot tricks old and new. The election in Ohio was not decided by the voters but by something called spoilage. Typically in the U.S., about 3% of the vote is voided, just thrown away, not recorded. When the bobblehead boobs on the tube tell you Ohio or any other state was won 51 to 49%, don't you believe it? It's never happened in the U.S. because the total never reaches a neat 100%. The television total simply subtract out the spoiled vote. Whose votes are discarded? Well, not all votes spoil equally. Most of those votes, say every official report, come from African American and minority precincts. We saw this in Florida in 2000. Exit polls showed Gore with a plurality of at least 50,000, but it didn't match the official count. And that's because the official, Secretary of State Katherine Harris, excluded 180,000 spoiled votes. In Florida, as in Ohio, most of these votes lost were cast on punch cards where the hole wasn't punched through completely, leaving a hanging chad, or was punched extra times. Whose cards were discarded? Expert statisticians investigating spoilage for the government calculated that 54% of the ballots thrown in the dumpster were cast by black folks. And here's the key. Florida's terribly typical. The majority of ballots thrown out, there will be nearly 2 million tossed out from Tuesday's election, will have been cast by African American and other minority citizens. So here we go again. Or here we don't go again, because unlike the last time, Democrats aren't even asking Ohio to count these cards with the not quite punched holes called undervotes in the voting biz, nor are they demanding we look at the overvotes where voter intent may be discerned. Ohio is one of the last states in America to still use the vote-spoiling punch card machines, and the Secretary of State of Ohio, J. Kenneth Blackwell, wrote before the election, the possibility of a close election with punch cards as the state's primary voting device invites a Florida-like calamity. But this week, Blackwell, a rabidly partisan religious Republican, has warmed up to the result of sticking with machines that have a habit of eating Democratic votes. When asked if he feared being this year's Katherine Harris, Blackwell noted that Miss Fix-It's efforts landed her a seat in Congress. Exactly how many votes were lost to spoilage this time? Blackwell's office notably won't say, though first and foremost, Kerry was had by chads, but the Democrat wasn't punched out by punch cards alone. There also were the challenges. That's a polite word for the Republican Party of Ohio's use of an old Ku Klux Klan technique, the attempt to block thousands of voters of color at the polls. In Ohio, Wisconsin, and Florida, the GOP laid plans for poll workers to ambush citizens under arcane laws almost never used, allowing party-designated poll watchers to finger individual voters and demand they be denied a ballot. The Ohio courts were horrified, and federal law prohibits targeting of voters where race is a factor in the challenge, but our Supreme Court was prepared to let Republicans stand at the voting booth door. In the end, the challengers were not overwhelming, but they were there. Many apparently resulted in voters getting these funky provisional ballots, a kind of voting placebo, which may or may not be counted. Blackwell estimates there were 175,000 in Ohio. Democrats say 250,000. Pick your number. But if challenges were aimed at minorities, no one doubts these are again overwhelmingly Democratic. Count them up, add in the spoiled punch cards, easy to tally with the human eye in a recount, and the totals begin to match the exit polls, and golly, you've got yourself a new president. Don't forget, Bush won by just over 136,000 votes in Ohio. Now on to New Mexico, where a Kerry plurality, if all votes are counted, is still more obvious. Before the election in TomPaine.com, I wrote, John Kerry is down by several thousand votes in New Mexico, though not one ballot's been counted yet. How did that happen? It's the spoilage, stupid, and the provisional ballots. CNN said George Bush took New Mexico by 11,620 votes. Again, the network total added up to that miraculous and non-existent 100% of ballots cast. New Mexico reported in the last race a spoilage rate of 2.68%. Votes lost almost entirely in Hispanic, Native American, and poor precincts, Democratic turf. From Tuesday's vote, assuming the same ballot loss rate, we can expect to see 18,000 ballots in the spoilage bin. Spoilage has a very Democratic look in New Mexico. Hispanic voters in the Enchanted State, who voted more than 2-1 for Kerry, are 5 times as likely to have their votes spoiled as a white voter. Counting these uncounted votes would easily overtake the Bush so-called plurality. Already, the election-vending efforts of spoilage are popping up in election stats exactly where we'd expect them in the heavily Hispanic areas controlled by Republican election officials. Chavez County in the Little Texas area of New Mexico has a 44% Hispanic population, plus Americans and Native Americans, yet George Bush won there 68 to 31%. Now let's add on the effect of the New Mexico tally of provisional ballots. They were handing them out like candy. Albuquerque journalist Renee Blake reported these provisional ballots, and 20,000 were given out. Who got them? San Diego Juarez, who ran the Faithful Citizenship Program for Catholic Archdiocese in New Mexico, told me that his voters, poor Hispanics whom he'd identified as solid Kerry supporters, were handed the iffy provisional ballots. Hispanics were given provisional ballots rather than the countable kind almost religiously, he said, at polling stations when there was the least question about the voters' identification. Some voters, San Diego said, were simply turned away. So we can call Ohio and New Mexico for John Kerry if we count all the votes, but that won't happen. Despite the Democratic Party's pledge, the leadership this time gave in to racial disenfranchisement once again. Why? No doubt the Democrats know darn well that counting all the spoiled and provisional ballots would require the cooperation of Ohio Secretary of State Blackwell, and he will ultimately decide which spoiled and provisional ballots get tallied. Blackwell, hankering to step into Kate Harris's political pumps, is unlikely to permit anything close to a full count. Also, Democratic leadership knows darn well the media would punish the party for demanding a full count. What now? Well, Kerry won, so hold your victory party, but make sure the shades are down. It may become illegal to demand a full vote count under Patriot Act 3. Patriot Act 3. I used to write a column for the Guardian papers in London. Several friends have asked me if I will leave the country again. In light of the failure a second time to count all the votes, that won't be necessary because my country has left me. How do you like that? Says Greg Palast. Oh, yeah, it's just spoiled, crying over spoiled grapes. Yeah, right. Spoiled, what is it? Spoiled eggs? Rotten eggs?
There it is.
Okay, let's see. I better vote on this thing, huh? It's not a vote. It's just a survey. That's all our survey says. What religion are you? Atheist, he said. And he clicked it right there. George, of course, is going to vote agnostic because he's, I just don't know. Yeah, you know.
No, I do know. See, you keep pretending not to get it.
You know? Not to get what?
You're making the same claim that they are, the Christians, when you're making a claim of that you can't prove.
Yeah.
So, it's a semantics thing.
Okay, prove it. Well, look at that. We got 15 agnostics and 7 atheists so far leading. That's good. That's excellent. Ann Gaylor for president. That's what I say. I had her on my show years ago, even though I did forget that she didn't have a D on the end of her name. I did have her on my show back in the day when I was doing those boring shows.
Her daughter's kind of cute.
I was changing mankind.
She's married. I'd still do her then. Her daughter's kind of cute.
Really?
Yep, Annie Large.
How do you like that?
Yeah, I like her.
Cuter than the Cheney's bull-like daughter, Mary, I'll guarantee you that.
No question.
Okay, let's take a few calls then. Also this hour, I want to get to this Guardian. Very long. It's 5 pages. Oh, jeez. We get so upset when you start reading these long, ponderous things. I don't. I like it. George likes it. And Josh, you don't really care because he's checking out that football schedule. Right?
Right.
See, Monday's going to be a problem because then we got Josh and Miguel. Now, the other day it worked out fine. It was real good. They were both very quiet, which is fine because I was on a roll. But that was leading up to the election, see. Now, Monday I might need a little more assistance because, who the hell knows what we're going to do now that this is all over? Huh? Well, no, I mean, we're not going to harp on this every day for 3.5 or whatever hours we're on every day. Oh, geez. Even I can't handle that. We'll just find some cutesy, funky stuff, Very clean, though, of course. Nothing X-rated, nothing sub-rosa because we don't want to get Joyce upset. And the Beasleys. WQAM, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil.
Yes,
I was thinking maybe this year for your Christmas drive, maybe you could collect for buying some flak jackets for our troops to help them maybe save a few legs.
Yeah, sounds like something to work on. Yeah.
Really, I work near the place that makes them down here in Oakland Park, and I could go down and ask them if we could do something like that.
Okay, well, you go right ahead and write them a nice check.
We need flak jackets for ourselves.
Yeah, for all the flak we get. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon Singular Wireless lines. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, baby?
How you doing?
Listen, got a comment and a question, then I'll hang up and listen to your answer. Comment.
Okay.
Would it be wrong? Or actually, it's just a comment. I know that an attack from Al-Qaeda is inevitable, And
how do you know that?
Well, I don't know. I just have that gut feeling, and I just hope that this time they attack the red state. And my question: how tall is George Rodriguez? Thank you.
Wow, that's a lot of ground there.
Hey, give your boyfriends a big kiss for us there when you have your noon. All right, look at that. It's 12:13 already. They're doing it.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Dumbfounded.
It's straight from the Vatican. Introducing New Catholic Light, the religion with 1/3 the guilt of your regular faith. New Catholic Light satisfies your need for Christianity, but it doesn't fill you up with a lot of doctrine. More fulfilling! More fulfilling! With Catholic Light, there's no confessions, no sermons, and no lingering afterlife. It's the perfect alternative for modern agnostics who don't want to take any chances. Our services are held 3 times a year, and they're only 15 minutes long. Plus, there's no added guilt for sneaking out during communion. We've dropped that, too. Look for our churchmobile in your neighborhood. Hey, you might be in the front pew. For ye of little faith, try Catholic Light, because a little faith is all you need.
12:17 at 560. Praise the Lord. Pass the ammunition, baby. All right. What religion are you a member of? We're getting a slow start on the survey here today. Maybe they're waiting for the weekend to do it, you think?
Well, they surprised by switching, I think.
Analyze it. What is it?
Well, you switched the polls. You haven't done that in a while.
What does that mean?
They don't know they got to go back on and vote again.
They know it. They know it. Agnostic 27, atheist 26. Pretty even there. 13 Catholic. Reformed Jew 8. Conservative Jew 4. Presbyterian 4. We got them all on here, I think. Lutheran 2. Christian Scientist 1. Did we add Southern Baptist or not?
No, we'll do that now.
Lutheran 2, Christian Scientist 1, Episcopal Land. No Quakers, Scientologists, Seventh-day Adventists, Mormons, Orthodox Jews, or Wiccans yet.
I better call my
What's
Wiccans.
the story? What's the deal with that? What up with that?
I'm going to call the Wiccans right now. They don't know.
Yeah, you better get them witches on there, man.
Witches.
Which is it? Onward Christian Soldiers. What a great segue from the Guardian UK. It says the hopefuls in the Democratic camp really believed victory in the U.S. election was within their grasp. How did they get it so wrong? They failed to appreciate, says Simon Schama, that their country is now, in fact, 2 nations that loathe and fear each other, godly and worldly America. It's long. Bear with me. I'll do the best I can. I may have to even well, we'll see. In the wee small hours of November 3rd, 2004, a new country appeared on the map of the modern world, the DSA, the Divided States of America. Oh, yes, I know the obligatory pieties about healing have begun, not least from the lips of the noble loser. This is music to the ears of the victor, of course, who wants to hear nothing better than for all of us to come together, a position otherwise known as unconditional surrender. Please, fellow curmudgeons and last-ditchers, can someone on the losing side say, just once and for all, not roll over and fall into a warm bath of patriotic platitudes at such moments, but toot the flute of battle instead, yell and holler and snarl just a little bit? I don't want to heal the wound. I want to scratch the damn thing until it hurts and bleeds, and then maybe we'll have what it takes to get up from the mat. Do we think the far-right Republican candidate Barry Goldwater in the ashy dawn of his annihilation in 1964 wanted to share? Don't think so. He wanted to win sometime, and now, by God, he has. We are one nation, the newborn star of Democrats, Senator-elect Barack Obama explained, even as every salient factor of political life belied him. Well, he might invoke Lincoln, for not since the Civil War has the fault line between its 2 halves been so glaringly clear, nor the chasm between its 2 cultures so starkly unbridgeable. Even territorially, with the exception of Florida, its peninsular finger pointing expectantly at tottering Cuba, the 2 Americas are topographically coherent and almost contiguous. One of those Americas is a perimeter lying on the oceans or athwart the fuzzy boundary with the Canadian lakes and is necessarily porous and outward-looking. The other America, whether Montagnard or Prairie, is solidly continental and landlocked, its taproots of obstinate self-belief buried deep beneath the bluegrass and the high corn. It's time we called these 2 Americas something other than the Republican and Democrat, for their mutual alienation and unforgiving contempt is closer to Sunni and Shia, or in Indian terms, Muslim and Hindu. How about then godly America and worldly America? Worldly America, which of course John Kerry won by a massive landslide, faces well the world on its Pacific and Atlantic coast and freely engages commercially and culturally with Asia and Europe in the easy understanding that those continents are a dynamic synthesis of ancient cultures and modern social and economic practices. This truism is threatening to worldly America, not least because so many of its people in the crowded cities are themselves products of its old new ways of Korea, Japan, Ireland, or Italy. In worldly America, San Francisco, Chicago, San Diego, New York, the foreigner is not an anxiety, but rather a necessity. Its America is polycultural, not Pollyanna. Godly America, on the other hand, rock-ribbed in Dick Cheney's Wyoming, stretched out just as far as it pleases in W's deeply drilled Texas, turns its back on that dangerous, promiscuous, impure world and proclaims the high heaven and the indestructible endurance of the American difference. If worldly America is beyond anything else, a city, a street, and a port, godly America is, as its heart, the organ whose bidding invariably determines its votes over the cooler instructions of the head, a church, a farm, and a barracks, places that are walled, fenced, and consecrated. Worldly America is about finding civil ways to share crowded space from a metro bus to the planet. Godly America is about making overspace in its image. One America makes room, the other America muscles in. Worldly America is pragmatic, practical, rational, and skeptical. In California, it passed Proposition 71, funding embryonic stem cell research beyond the restrictions imposed by Bush's federal policy. Godly America is mythic, messianic, conversionary, given acts of public witness, hence the need in Utah and Montana and a handful of other states to poll the voters on amendments to their state constitution defining marriage as a union between the opposite sexes. But then worldly America is said to feed the carnal vanities. Godly America banishes and punishes them. From time to time, godly America will descend on the flesh pots of worldly America from Gotham. It had its Citadel-like convention there, after all, to Californication, will shop for T-shirts, take a sniff at the local pagans, and then return to base camp more convinced than ever that at a time of redemption and repentance it must be at hand. But if the stiff-necked transgressors cannot be persuaded, they can be cowed and conquered. No wonder so many of us got the election so fabulously wrong, even in the early hours of Tuesday evening, when the exit polls apparently were giving John Kerry a 2 or 3 point lead in both Florida and Ohio. For most of us purblind writers spend our days in worldly America and think that godly America is some sort of quaint anachronism doomed to atrophy and disappear as the hypermodernity of the cyber age overtakes it, and whatever fastness of Kentucky or Montana might still circle its wagons. The shock for the worldlies is to discover that godly America is its modernity, and that so far from withering before the advance of the blog and the zip drive, it's actually empowered by them. The tenacity with which godly America insists the theory of evolution is just that, a theory, with no more validity than creationism, or that Iraqis did in fact bring down the Twin Towers, is not in any way challenged by the digital pathways of the information age. In fact, such articles of faith are expedited and reinforced by them. Holy bloggers bloviate, Pentecostalists ornament their website with a nimbus of trembling electronic radiance, and for all I know, you can download Pastor John Ashcroft singing the praises of the Lord right to your God's pod. You have a God pod?
Not on me.
Nor, it transpires, is the exercise of the franchise a surefire way for Democrats to prevail. The received wisdom in these worldly parts, subscribed to by yours truly, was that a massively higher voter turnout would necessarily favor Kerry. P. Diddy's Vote or Die campaign was credited with getting out young voters en masse who ignored the polls in 2000. We saw a lot of Springsteen and Bon Jovi and ecstatic upturned faces. Who could possibly match their mobilization, we thought? Answer, Jehovah and his faithful servant, St. Karl the Rove. The biggest story of all in 2004 is the astounding success of the Republicans in shipping millions of white evangelicals to the polls who also had stayed home 4 years earlier. We thought we were fired up with righteous indignation against the deceits of the propaganda campaign for the war in Iraq, against the gross inequities of the tax cuts, but our fire was just hot air compared to the jihad launched by the godlies against the infamy of a tax rollback, of merely presuming to diss the dear leader in a time of war. And the battalions of Christian soldiers made the telling difference in the few critical places where godly and worldly America do actually rub shoulders or at least share a state, Ohio above all. By the lights of the I have no idea what this word is. Physiology manuals. What is that? Ohio ought to have been a natural for the Democrats. Aging industrial cities such as Akron and Dayton with big concentrations of minorities suffered prolonged economic pain from the outsourced industries. Cleveland and Cincinnati are classic cities of the worldly plain. Half-decayed, incompletely revived, great art museums, a rock and roll hall of fame, a terrific symphony orchestra, but drive a bit in deep Zion, where the Holsteins graze by billboards urging the sinful to return to the bosom of the Almighty. The Church of Friday Night High School football shouts its hosannas at the touchdown, and support our troop signs grow as thick as the rutabaga. At first sight, there's not much distance between this world and western Pennsylvania, but were the state line to be marked in 20-foot-high electrified fences, the frontier between the two Americas couldn't be sharper. The voters of the Buckeye State cities did care about jobs. They did listen when Kerry told them the rich had been disproportionately benefited nicely from Bush's tax cut, but they were also listening when their preachers, both black and white, fulminated against the uncleanliness of Sodom and the murder of the unborn. In the end, those whose most serious anxieties were the state of the economy and the Mesopotamia were outvoted by those who told exit pollers that their greatest concern in 2004 was moral values. Faith-driven politics may have even had a hand in delivering Florida to Bush by surprising margin, since it seems possible that Jewish voters there voted for my son, the vice president, Jew Lieberman. Rome instructing the faithful of the abhorrence of his position on abortion would have been about as persuasive as kitting him out with a gun, camouflaging dead Canada geese, a laboriously transparent exercise in damning insincerity. In godly America, the politics of impassioned conviction inevitably trumped the politics of logical argument. On CNN, a fuming James Carville wondered out loud how a candidate declared by the voting public to have decisively won at least 2 of the 3 televised debates could have still been defeated. But the victory in those debates was one of body language rather than reasoned discourse. It registered more deeply with the public than the president looked hunched and peevish than that he had been called by Kerry on the irrelevance of the war in Iraq to the threat of terror. And since the insight was one of appearance and not essence, it could just as easily be replaced by countless photo ops of the president restored to soundbite affability. The charge that Bush in his second war had actually made America less and not more safe, and had created not flushed out nests of terror, simply failed to register with the majority of those that put that issue at the top of their concerns. Why? Because the president had acted, meaning he at least had killed some Middle Eastern bad dudes in response to 9/11. They might be the wrong ones in the wrong place, as Kerry said over and over again, but that was simply too complicated a truth to master. Forget the quiz in political geography. The electorate was saying for the popular commitment to altruistic democratic reconstruction on the Tigris is, whatever the White House orthodoxy is, less than Wolfowitzian. It's all sand and towel heads anyway, right? Just smash them like a ripe cantaloupe. Who them? Who gives a Schmidt? Just make the testosterone tingle all the way to the polls. Thus it was that the war veteran found himself demonized as a vacillating compromiser, the Osama candidate, while a pair of draft dodgers who would sacrifice more than 1,100 young men and women to a quixotic Levantine makeover, and one which I prophesy will be ignominiously wound up by next summer, the isolationists in the administration having routed the neocons, got off scot-free, lionizes the fathers of our troops. Well, the autumn leaves have just this week fallen from the trees up here in the Hudson Valley, and the scales from the eyes of us deluded worldlies. If there's to be any sort of serious political future for the Democrats, they have to do far more than just merely trade on the shortcomings of the incumbents, and there will be opportunities in the witching years ahead. The real challenge is to voice an alternative social gospel to the political liturgy of the godlies, one that redefines patriotism as an American community, not just a collection of wealth-seeking individuals, one that refuses to play a zero-sum game between freedom and justice, one in which, as the last populist president put it just a week ago, thought and hope are not mutually exclusive. You want moral values? So do we, but let them come from the street, not the pulpit. And if a fresh beginning must be made, and it must, let it not begin with a healing, but with a fight.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Friday, you bastard.
There he was, just a-walking on the sea, singing, do-I-did-it-dum-did-it-do. He's a man from the land of Galilee, singing, do-I-did-it-dum-did-it-do. He's good, divine, he's good, divine, changes water into wine. The next thing I knew, we had a lame man on his feet singing, do-I-did-it-dum-did-it-do. The blind are gonna see and the dumb are gonna speak, singing, do-I-did-it-dum-did-it-do. He walked on through my door, walked on through my door, then he cured a leper sores. Whoa, some say he's the Son of God. Yes, they do, but there's other people think it's so odd. Now he's the reason that we have an Easter day singing, do-I-did-it-dum-did-it-do. And he's the reason that all the Christians pray singing, do-I-did-it-dum-did-it-do. They praise him, praise.
And of course there's this making the rounds, and I see on BuzzFlash somebody faxed a copy. I saw it yesterday. New map of the U.S., or at least of North America. And all the red states are now called Jesus Land, and the blue states have joined with Canada and the United States of Canada. How's it going, eh? It's okay, we can handle it. That would be great. United States of Canada. I think that may happen someday, you know? Sure. Because geographically, those blue states, I mean, you do have to go down the pike a little bit to get to California, but nevertheless, it's still connected there, you know? It's still that left arm, that left coast. And then, of course, those upper Midwestern states, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, They're all like in Illinois. They're all like lumped together there. And New York and the whole Northeast there, and Pennsylvania and Jersey and Delaware and Maryland. It's all like neatly connected there.
We could do a wee bit of redistribution.
And all you goyim out there and Farbison, I notice we don't have any Orthodox Jews listening. You know what I say to that?
Oy!
Good. They're busy making beanies. It is so sad. He was good for Israel. He's good for... Well, go there already, okay? Go there and hop on a bus. See if you survive it. Get out of our face already.
Kerry had a 100% voting record for Israel in his entire political history.
And you know something? That was a bad mistake. I didn't like that kind of... And during that point in the debate when they got into the one question about that, and he said nothing at all about the Palestinians or about... Again, all he was pandering to the Jews again, because that's what you have to do. You have to pander and either he nor Bush had anything to say about a Palestinian state or about the innocent Palestinians there getting killed like the innocent Israelis. No, it's strictly a one-sided deal because we have to suck up to that fat-ass Ariel Sharon, that terrorist lunatic. Nevertheless, let's take a look at the survey now. The survey's usually pretty interesting, although I don't think so this time. Well, you've chased them all away. Good, I don't care. The Mormons, remember we used to have a few Mormons, remember?
Yeah.
I think way back in the beginning we had...
About 30, man.
Slowly but surely, because you made up all those nasty comments about them riding them bicycles with their white shirts and ties.
What's nasty about that?
Well, it's not all you said. I don't remember all the stuff you said. Let's see. Greg Palast column, other stuff I'm seeing around the Internet. Who is this from? Is this from our friend Fred? Yeah, it is Fred. How did I know that? He says, happy birthday. Thank you, Fred. Fred's still working on it, okay? Let's see. He's got a foil and a graph and a tin foil hat and whatever he's got here. This goes very... Exit polling. Illinois, well, let's see. Maine, I don't get it. Florida exit polling. Kerry 51, Bush 48. Actual vote the other way around, 51-48 Bush. Ohio exit polling. Kerry 52, Bush 47. 5 points lead. Bush 51, Kerry 48. Final vote. Pennsylvania 60-40 for Kerry, and the final vote was only 2 points, 51-49 for Kerry in Pennsylvania. How do you like that? Mm-hmm. Oh no, but the exit polling was all wrong, and we did the right and the wrong thing, and we jumped to conclusion. Sure, they got to say that now, because otherwise it looks like it was fixed, and we can't have a fixed election in America. That would be bad. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hey, finally paid for your visit to Dr. Kevorkian.
Yeah?
I'll pay for your visit to Dr. Kevorkian. Have a good day.
Yeah, okay, great. That was brilliant, okay. Just what you'd expect. Just exactly what you'd expect from one of that crowd. I'm not going to Dr. Kevorkian. How about you giving it a shot, okay? Yeah. How about spending some time Russian roulette with fully loaded Chambers this weekend? Or maybe just with Marilyn Chambers. She's probably, what, about 90 now? She might take a look at him, but I doubt it. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon Singular Wireless lines. See, it's like a big joke. All these kids that are going to die over there when they have this attack on Fallujah coming up in the days to come, and they've already alerted the hospitals over there to get ready for a bloodbath.
Right.
The story's on I just saw it on Newsday.
It's a joke.
It's a big joke, you know, just we won, like a football game. It's the same mentality. And, of course, why not? Because a lot of these people are like the nose pickers you'd see at like that article I read on a Friday night football game in Texas. Right. Praise the Lord, you know. They're going to loot Social Security. Ain't it great? Yeah. Yeah, so all the young punks can lose their money in the stock market. WQAM, hello.
Happy birthday to you, my Neil. Love you.
Okay. I guess they must have let him out of the circle. Comma. Jerk. WQAM, hello.
Happy birthday, Neil.
Thanks.
How you doing?
Great.
How about, for the religious bit, the church bar and grill? Can you play that one?
That's an old Bob and Tom one. I don't think I have that. I think George might have that somewhere in the Bob and Tom CD. You got it?
Somewhere.
That's, I don't know.
It's 5 minutes long.
No, I don't. We only got an hour and 20 minutes to go. It's not that we, are desperate. I got a really good column here by Paul Krugman, as usual, and one by Antonio Zervicius in the Toronto Star, where they just rip Bush an ass and the American people as well, the Star. Man, did they rip them an ass. In fact, you know something? I forgot about that, because the one article's on the other side of that county-by-county map, you know? Victory for Bush, no fluke this time. Just one paragraph at the end. It's by Thomas Walcom in the Star, who says, Canadians might find this unsettling, but this, it seems, is today's United States. They support freedom in the abstract, but consider some specific freedom, such as freedom of men to marry men or women beyond the pale. But this, it seems, is today's United States. Americans were not tricked into electing a socially conservative president anxious to make war. Not this time. This time they deliberately chose him. They're not too happy about it. The whole world is like hanging their head in shame, like, how the hell did this happen again?
Well, that's because they're all commies.
That must be it. Commie pinkos. Anyway. But I don't know whether I want to waste my time reading these things, because I feel like I'm farting into a windstorm now, you know?
Silently, I hope.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Joyce, I'm only farting very silently, and they smell real like lilacs, because Rochester is right across the lake. They smell just like lilacs. I'm looking at that county by county, and it looks to me like Buffalo and Rochester voted for Kerry. That is, I just can't get over that, because they're very traditionally Republican counties. Wow, that is just amazing. In fact, Niagara Falls, Buffalo, whatever. I guess it's Niagara County and Erie County. Is Buffalo? You would know.
Yeah, right. Sounds
yeah. Voted for Kerry? That's just unbelievable. Maybe they figured he'd give them free bowling passes and free white socks. And free, what is that stuff they got, that meat, not smoked meat, that's Montreal. Whatever that stuff is. Well, Fat Boy would know. And by the way, don't give Fat Boy those Buffalo tickets.
I won't.
WQAM, hello.
Neil, how you doing?
Pretty good, Pally.
Hey, I voted for Kerry, but most of the people that I know voted for Bush, and they always bring up the fact, why vote for Kerry? Because he's going to cut the military, he wants to cut the budget for the military, this and that. And one more thing. I know what Bill Kamal did.
Go ahead.
I know what Bill Kamal did. I know what Rick Sanchez did. But what did Sally Fisk do?
Did he say what or who?
What did Sally Fisk do? She sat on a battery. She sat on a Coke bottle.
Matter of fact, Bill O'Reilly knows all about it.
She sat on a bunch of...
They got a lot in common.
Foreign objects, you know?
Mexicans,
don't pick on Sally.
Rectum.
These people with their Channel 7 fetish, this obsession, very sad. I did the break, didn't I?
What break?
The one at 12:38.
Apparently not.
I didn't?
No. Not.
I'm just rambling on here. We got to do a freaking break?
You're listening to Neil Rogers.
What happens when you get worked up, man?
QAM.
Kid, baby.
If you're sick of pizzas that are only partially awesome, now there's a new pizza that's totally awesome. It's Domino's Mile High Pizza Pie. One entire pizza piled on top of another pizza with another pizza on top of that with 3 toppings of your choice. Then we pile another pizza on top of that.
Cool.
But we're not done yet. We put another pizza on top of that and another pizza on top of that with 3 additional toppings of your choice.
Can they be the same toppings that are on top of the pizza that's 3 tiers below that?
No, but on top of that pizza is another pizza. And on top of the pizza above that, you can repeat the toppings choice from 8 layers down.
Well, can the 4th pizza up from the one below the second one with 3 toppings have stuffed crust?
No, but the 3rd pizza down from the one above the second one with 3 toppings can, for only $3 more.
Wow, I can't wait to get stoned and order one.
Domino's Mile High Pizza Pie. Waddle your way across the living room and open the door. It's Domino's.
We left off, I did, my bad, left off a whole bunch of important religions there, man. How could we leave off the Muslims?
Oh, man.
Jesus K. Christ, how could I do that? And the 6th.
Right.
And 7th and 8th.
Sikhs, Josh.
Sikh, S-I-K-H. Got it? Remember the day that kid called in last year and said, I'm sick. Hope we found a good doctor. Buddhists, we forgot the Buddhists who like to rub Buddha's head.
Got like 3 of them in town here.
And what about the Shintoists? Shinto, what do we put down? Shinto, is that the name of the religion? Shinto?
Correct.
Now, how about that Japanese? Is the girl still there with you, or is that over with?
She's there.
And?
Living with us. What about her?
Has there been any discussion about religion in Japan and about Shintoism and?
Absolutely. They have.
I figure with you being the bastard that you are.
There's no question.
Probably browbeating her and brainwashing.
They have Shinto and Buddhism, and they use it like traditional flavor. They don't believe in it literally, she says.
Right.
And she's shocked and dismayed that people actually do believe in religion literally, as opposed to...
like most of the real world is, okay?
So they do
Just
stuff.
like
they
Lindsey
have
Graham
holidays,
said, religious fanaticism is the thing that we're all the rational people are fighting. Even that drooling South Carolina redneck Republican, he knew it. We're fighting religious intolerance, religious fanaticism, which equals a.k.a. hate, good old-fashioned hate. And by the way, for that moron that called before, who listens religiously to the show, by the way, the same one that gave me a song and dance about Michael Moore last year, I recognize these voices, man, like you wouldn't believe. Hate to break the news to you, not only am I not ready to see Dr. Kevorkian, but even though it may be a day or two late, the checks still do show up. They show up. Big ones. Big fat ones. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I heard Sally Fisk that on the cucumber.
Yeah, okay, great. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello.
Leave it on me. Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, good morning.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, morning, there you go. I saw an article by Hunter S. Thompson, and I just wondered if you had read that or had seen his comments regarding the election.
No.
If I faxed it to you, would you be interested?
Sure.
It's a pretty poignant
I would
view to
imagine
put
it
him out
would be,
there.
yeah.
What do you think about that guy? I mean, I don't think much of him, but I'm just curious as to your take on him.
Well, send me the article and I'll read it. I have an open mind.
And what's the fax number again, dare I ask?
305? What do you mean, dare you ask? We're a very friendly bunch here some days. 305 650 0198.
0198.
Got it?
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Pally. Thanks. Have a great weekend. 56705. We're, not having a nervous breakdown over this. I mean, Wednesday, I must admit, I was physically ill all day. I just, how could this be,
Right.
But, of course, we know how it can be, because whether the fix is in or not, by hook or by crook, I already told you they'll find a way to get. They're not going to let go of the reins of power after the efforts they went through to steal it the last time. You think they're just going to let them go loose that easily?
No.
No. And I'll tell you another thing that doesn't make any sense. They say, well, the exit polls doesn't take into factor the people that show up late. Well, guess what? Traditionally, just about every election, who are the people that vote late after work? Democrats.
Well.
Every time. Traditional. I mean, it goes back a zillion years because they work all day, and then if they weren't able to do it early in the morning, they go out there and they turn out in very large numbers late in the day. So when you looked and saw that Kerry was ahead a couple of points in Florida and in Ohio and almost every one of the battleground states, that's why people were celebrating and dancing, because it looked like it was all over. And here they had all these long lines, saw all those long lines of dark folks there in Cleveland and these places, and all of a sudden, it kind of reminded me of the old Metro Rail deal,
Mm-hmm.
All those people that showed up in Homestead to vote for something that had nothing to do with them. Not that we're suggesting anything, you understand.
Of course.
WQAM, hello. Okay, good one. WQAM, hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I don't know if you saw the email that Michael Moore sent out, the first one, on yesterday evening. I think I got it. I think it does it perfect. He has the whole list of all the 1,120 or whatever kids who died uselessly in Iraq, and then right under there he says, "May they rest in peace, and may they one day forgive us." I think it's perfect.
Yeah, and we put on our website the mosaic that he had there, the picture of Bush behind the barbed wire, and in every square of the barbed wire is a picture of one of those kids.
That's it. Yeah. Got a question, and maybe, I don't know if you can answer it, or maybe one of the...
But don't forget that we're interested in moral values.
Yeah, right.
Don't forget about that.
Yeah, right. Sure. What is the difference, what is the legal difference between slot machines 2 and 3? What's the deal there?
Slot machines 2 is those make-believe ones that they have at the Indians right now, where you don't really play the slot. It's got a bingo game on top, and then the slot. It's just a phony baloney. It's a legal way of getting around because, supposedly the 3, which is what they voted in favor of on Tuesday, it's just a regular Vegas-type slot machine. That's all. It doesn't have all that stupid crap on top.
So we are going to have the 3s in the pari-mutuels.
That is correct.
Cool.
Yeah, you bet.
Hey, great deal.
I might even come down there once in a while, just for the hell of it.
Don't do it too much, man. Stay in Toronto.
I say once in a great while.
Stay in Toronto.
Every other Sukkot. That's right. I can go to Woodbine here, have a great time.
You got it. All right, Neil.
Thanks.
Bye.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's great for the horsemen. It's great for the whole pari-mutuel industry, which has been dying because it's got so much competition. And a lot of that competition, like the Indians, it's not getting taxed. The cruise ship's not getting taxed. The state isn't benefiting. You suckers out there aren't benefiting from any of it because all that money is just going into somebody's pocket. But I got to read that again, man. I saved that. That just frosts my fat ass. When they find out that $5.6 million of the No on 4 money, the anti-gambling campaign, was financed by the Seminole tribe in the 2 weeks leading up to the election. Again, scare the public, just like the Bush people did with all this terrorism crap. Scare the public. People respond real well to being scared. The ads warned that slots at South Florida's pari-mutuels would ruin the state's family-friendly tourist reputation. We felt we had to protect the assets of the Seminole tribe. In other words, they didn't want the competition, that's all. It's not that they cared about ruining a family-friendly tourist reputation, because they got basically the same thing there, just a different class of slots, that's all. Phony baloney one. And now they're going to be able to get the same thing. It's unbelievable. And, of course, this Max Osceola, Seminole Tribe councilman from Hollywood, admitted he never saw the TV ads financed by the tribe, which just happens to own the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Boy, you talk about giving new... In fact, don't the Indians call that a chazer?
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
John Killer?
Hello, this is Arnold. This is not a tumor. It's the 1 to 2 hour.
We interrupt this program to bring you breaking news. Fidel Castro and communism have fallen in Cuba. Our microphones were there to capture this historic moment.
Gracias, gracias, adios.
You heard it here first, the fall of Castro and communism in Cuba. Now, back to our regularly scheduled program.
It's a minute after 1 at 5:60. You know, I haven't given a schedule today. I've been remiss. We got the Mad Dog at Publix. Now, did we ever find out what Publix he's going to be doing the show from? And is it going to be in the fresh fruit or the meat department?
I don't know.
We don't know?
No.
I never heard of such a thing. He's going to be doing the show from Publix?
Just keep driving around from Publix to Publix until you find him.
Now, that is bizarre.
Look for the one with the crowd out front.
Wow. And then we got the Humper at 4, of course, from in the studio, and the Big at 7, who's nothing but a chicken schmidt, and Eddie K at 10. Let's see, Hunter S. Thompson.
Actually, he's at Hooters in Doral, not Publix.
Well, how did that ever get on there, Publix? Well, what does that mean? Next, he's going to be doing it from Walgreens. I don't get it. Although they've got a lot of good drugs at Walgreens. What?
As long as it's not Walmart.
At Hooters and where?
Doral.
Doral. Well, that's pretty, just about the same thing as Publix, right?
Right.
Oh, man. Hunter S. Thompson. Now, is this the thing I'm supposed to see?
That is correct.
Well, it's very short.
He wrote Fear Loathing in Las Vegas, Where the Buffalo Roam. You know who he is.
I know Hunter S. Thompson.
Okay.
Jesus Christ almighty, man.
No, it's not him.
Yeah, it is. In drag. We've become a Nazi monster in the eyes of the whole world, a nation of bullies and bastards who'd rather kill than live peacefully. We're not just whores for power and oil, but killer whores with hate and fear in our hearts. We are human scum, and that's how history will judge us. No redeeming social value, just whores. Get out of our way or we'll kill you. Who does vote for these dishonest Schmidt-heads? Who among us can be happy and proud of having all this innocent blood on our hands? Who are these swine? These flag-sucking half-wits who get fleeced and fooled by stupid little rich kids like George Bush. They are the same ones who wanted to have Muhammad Ali locked up for refusing to kill gooks. They speak for all that is cruel and stupid and vicious in the American character. They are the racists and hate-mongers among us. They are the Ku Klux Klan. I pee down the throats of these Nazis. He didn't say pee, but you know what he said.
Right.
Am I too old to worry about whether they like it or not? F them, says Hunter S. Thompson, to which we say,
all right.
Amen. Thank you for faxing that, John.
Hate it when he pulls punches and minces words like that.
Yeah. Tell us what you really think. Excellent job. Don't forget that QAM Van 3 to 5 this afternoon will be at the Hess station. No connection with Rudolph Hess. Located at 198 Northwest 27th Avenue. Spin the wheel for prizes and register for the Miller Lite Press Writer for a Day sweepstakes, whatever that is. And from 4 to 6 this afternoon, QM will be at the second annual South Florida RV Road Show going on at Bass Pro Outlet off I-95 and Griffin Road. Stop by there to win some prizes or not, as the case may be. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular Wireless lines. I'm not reading any more stuff today. I might. The Antonio Zerbisius column, will Left in America get its say now? It's pretty good. Short. It's not real lengthy and ponderous like that other one, which I wish you'd have stopped me from reading.
I liked it.
Had
a lot of big words.
Not only that, but when you got an article that's that long, then, I accelerate. I try to read it faster, and then I start bumbling and fumbling. It's like, it's ponderous, man. It's
Forget
bad.
about it.
Dan on the Beach says, I faxed you the day after about how this election shows the world of democracy works and that at least there's a definitive outcome, like it or not. I was fishing for the response you gave in order to illustrate to the person who actually made those ignorant remarks. He heard your commentary, but will never get it. I also said I look forward to 4 more years of humor. Jay Leno basically said the same thing last night. You're right, there's nothing funny about it. There is nothing funny about it. These idiots who think, like we're talking about a ball game or something. Not a ball game. We're talking about people's lives and the Social Security thing and the $5.2 trillion deficit it's going to create. Forget about the fact that a lot of these young people are going to lose their life savings if the market takes a crap like it did during the tech bubble, and it very well could because it does very often. And, you can't time those things how it's convenient for you. They're saying, well, the market never gone a 20-year cycle. But what about if they happen to be ready to retire at a time when we have like a crap in the market?
Hey, you're not looking on the bright side, negative Nelly.
Yeah, right.
You faggots can't get married.
Like that was, and I'm going to say it again. I want to apologize to America right now, even though I had no part in it. I want to apologize because that thing had no business being an issue. You fags out there that just can't take a little bit slower, okay? Just take a little bit of time and stop like screwing it all up for it. That was the one thing they needed. That was the one excuse, just like when Clinton first came into office. he's going to have gays in the military. Well, he was trying to keep his campaign promise, but he was politically naive, and they nailed him to the cross with that. They just about finished him off with that, and then when that didn't do the job, then we got Monica with the blue dress. But you got to take it slow. I understand people are impatient. They don't want to wait for equal rights. But the fact of the matter is, it's America. You're not ready for equality. You've got a country that's loaded with bigoted religious nuts. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Reverend Jones.
Oh, okay, good. Well, he said happy birthday.
Yeah,
WQAM, hello.
Neil?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, my goodness. I just want to say...
Oh, my God.
Neil, happy birthday.
Thanks.
I just want to say my mom, we're from Persia, Iran, and my mom, whatever you say is gospel.
Uh-huh.
Is there any way...
This is the gospel. That's right. It'll cost you $50 to listen from now on. I'm going to start making some money off it.
You're wonderful. I hope you come back to Miami.
No way.
Is there any way to get a signed autograph or a picture of you? I went on your website. No?
No.
Okay, sweetie.
I don't do that no more. I used to do that, and then I got tired of people looking at my ugly face.
No. Oh, Neil, you're wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thanks, sweetheart. Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.
Say hi to Ma.
I will. Bye.
All right. Me too. Hi, Ma. Let's see. What religion are you is our survey. Now, it's not one of those controversial poll questions that, like, who are you going to vote for? Did the election get stolen? Who's got the hottest pair of boobs? It's not like that. 330. It's just a survey, and our survey says agnostics 93, Catholic 77, atheist 76, and after that it's a long way down to Reformed Jew. What'd you think about that? 29. Conservative Jew 16.
You find that 13, Catholic horse crap there?
Catholic 77. Well, those are your people as our Catholics. The Hispanics, man, we're loaded with them. We got the Cubans up the old nose.
Shoot.
Up the old chute. Conservative Jew 16, Presbyterian 9, Lutheran 7, Quaker 5, Southern Baptist. Quaker 5? Right. Holy moly, I'm feeling my Quaker oats now. Richard Nixon was a Quaker, and look what he did. Southern Baptist 4, Wiccans 4. All right. Which candidate did they vote for? Methodist 2, Christian Scientists a pair, Episcopals 2. So we said, I guess that's right. Episcopalian, whatever. Sick. We got one sick. Call the doctor. Call emergency right now. Muslim 1, Scientology 1. Ooh, must be a classic queen. Seventh-day Adventist 1. Shinto, Buddhist, Mormon, and Orthodox Jew. We got the big... Oh! You don't have any Mormons left? Oh, you chased them all away, George. I warned you about that. I kept telling you, stop chasing the Mormons away.
I'm nice to the Mormons. I invite them in.
No, you're not.
Invite them into the house.
You treat them like crap, and you keep talking about them special underwears with the holes in them.
Well, they do have special underwear.
Oh, my God. What kind of crap is that?
They're called temple garments.
Oh, please.
It's
all the headgear and the schmatas and the flying carpets and the rosary beads and the mitre and the... Oh, Jesus, God almighty, when are you...
Christ.
This is the year 2004. We still got people potchking around with nonsense from the Stone Age, the Flat Earth crowd.
Yeah, at least they're not sacrificing chickens anymore.
That's what you think. You haven't been in Little Haiti lately, have you? Crazy person. Man, you need to get out of the house a little bit more. Hopefully with a lot of protection. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Yes, Neil.
Yes, sir.
After working yourself up into a frenzy and promoting the Michael Moore movie.
Yeah.
Serves you right that Bush won, huh?
Yeah, I was responsible. That serves me right. See what I'm saying? Let's send your ass over there to Iraq, okay? Let's send your ugly, pimply, nasty, smelly ass over there. And then after we finish with that, we'll send the rest of you, too. How do you like that? And bring you back in a body sack. WQAM, hello.
Hey, George.
Yo.
How you doing, buddy? Got Neil all the way on 75 at Fort Myers. I picked him up. I'm on Alligator Alley now.
Wow. Boy, don't let the Beasleys hear about that.
No, it's pretty clear, too, dude. I can't believe it, man.
Excellent. I bet you that Bob Van, whatever his name is, went out and peed on the tower. Bob Van Muth.
Yeah, maybe, Neil. So how you been? Okay, I hear it's your birthday, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Well, happy birthday.
Well, thank you so much.
Are you getting older or wiser?
Old, real old, 62, man, ancient. Senior
Are you
citizen
really,
now.
Neil, no bullshit. No bull. Are you really 62?
Yes, I am 62, like I just said. Too bad we had to dump that. He said bullshit. Isn't that a shame?
Yeah.
Don't let the Beasleys hear that either.
No.
Oh, that Joyce, man. She'll be like that. Did you hear that?
Oh, you should have seen the scene in there this morning because apparently there was a long, steady stream of fart sound effects on the Howard
show. On the Stern show, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They didn't have enough buttons to put.
Well, good for you, Howard. In fact, I hope Howard just played... I got a great idea. I hope that Stern plays fart sounds in the background during the entire show from now on. Wouldn't that be great? What are they going to do then? Huh?
Oh.
Can you even begin to imagine what would be going on in that studio?
I got a pretty good idea.
Holy cow, you talk about...
Yeah, that was it.
Here's a fax from Pete the Chronic Board-Op, who just won't go away. Happy 62nd birthday, Pete the Chronic, wishing the best. Been a long time since WINZ and the Wonder Mug days. Can I have a Wonder Mug, Neil? Can I have a Wonder Mug? Thank you, Pete. Hope everything is well with you and yours, etc. and so on. Pete. Yeah, most of those people from back in the INZ Zeta days, they're probably long gone now, you know? All my good old paisans. They're all moved on with life. They're all listening to FM or they're listening to Sirius and XM. They moved on to another, right? Right. It's okay, but we always got Pete the Chronic Board-Op, and we always got Chronic Rick that won't stop with those stupid faxes, you know? Hop out of that website now and register, okay? You got to register because then you'll be able to vote for God or Allah or Buddha or Joseph Smith or Muhammad or one of those other fantasy characters, okay? I bet you there was a guy, though, named Joseph Smith.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely. That's documented.
Right. There was a Joseph Smith. In fact, he had those tablets in Palmyra, New York, and they kept saying, take two and call us in the morning. He just didn't know what to call them. And so he called them Mormons.
A lynch mob strung him up on account of he was an aberrant, militant pain in the ass.
Yeah, and he had that very strange magical underwear, too, I'll bet. Wow. Which wouldn't have been so bad, except that he didn't change it, see? It had a strange scent. Then he said he was sent from heaven. Oh, yeah, everybody's sent from heaven. It was Jesus. No, it was Moses. No, it was Joseph Smith. No, it was Donnie and Marie. No, it was Buddha. No, it was this one. It was that one. It was, oh, Jesus. It wears me out. You talk about fighting the establishment, man, trying to fight against people who have been brainwashed since they were old enough to open up their eyes. I mean, it's a hopeless case. That's what we need. We need one gigantic deprogramming operation in the world. That's what we need. Everybody wakes up tomorrow, no religion, bye-bye, close them all down. Turn all those buildings into homeless shelters. Take care of people who need some help, right?
Summer theater, they got all those...
Do some good for them. Take some people in, feed them, clothe them, clean them up, educate them, give them a worthwhile life instead of all this crap, like that Crystal Cathedral out there in California, or that Coral Ridge with the spire halfway to the sky there with that Reverend Anti-Semite Kennedy. Man. Just calm it down a little bit, okay? Getting a little bit too worked up now. Calm down. I'm talking to you.
Okay.
113 at 560 WQAM. Now's the time to save like never before at Armstrong Ford Homestead because they got to clear out all remaining 04s to make room for the 2005s. And you're going to save like never before on all remaining 04s in stock ready for immediate, if not sooner, delivery. All the 05s are ready. They're in and they're ready to roll out. Plus, for a limited time, get yourself 0% financing on any of the following: Explorers, Escapes, Focuses, Tauruses, and Mustangs. Certain restrictions apply. The lots at Armstrong Ford Homestead are jammed like crazy, and with more 05s arriving every day, they're slashing prices like crazy right now, and you're going to save a ton. Armstrong Ford Homestead offers more value to you, too, because when you buy your Ford there, you'll get their exclusive tires and batteries for life program. So if you've been looking for a new car but been stalling around, putting it off, wait no longer, because David Rich and the staff at Armstrong Ford are making you an offer you've got to be crazy to refuse. They guarantee you the best price, and don't forget, Armstrong Ford Homestead is locally owned and operated. They'll treat you great, just like family. You won't get a better deal in South Florida on a Ford. Nowhere. No bait and switch, no phony deals, just unbeatable prices. At Armstrong Ford Homestead at 30725 South Dixie Highway, just 20 minutes south of the 836. Check them out on the web if you like at ArmstrongCars.com, and then drive a few minutes and save thousands on that new Ford only at Armstrong Ford of Homestead.
You're listening to Neil Rogers, exclusive QAM.
No one cares, it's radio.
So George just sent me a farting frog for my birthday, and I'll tell you one thing, it was worth the effort. I thought to myself, I'm downloading that thing, and then enter your e-card number, and it's like it's got like 87 digits on there.
Got to enter a freaking number? I never had to do that.
Oh, yeah. Holy moly. But it was cute. It was a frog, and George writes at the bottom, don't play this while the mic is open. We don't want to get Joyce upset because the frog is farting. Well, I'm not sure that we can't play frog farts.
That's a good point.
Let's check with Joyce over the weekend and see if we can start playing frog farts on Monday.
If a frog farts underwater, it sounds like this.
Yeah. And does anybody hear it? Well, that's like if a person farts in the shower, which is one of the greatest experiences of, WQAM, hello.
Hey, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Don't look back, as they say, always look ahead.
Yeah, right. Easy for you to say.
Now, listen, let me tell you something. I worked as a poll worker on Tuesday, okay? And, it was really frustrating because, you're not supposed to say anything and you don't, but it was obvious that the other side was there for one reason only, and that was to try to suppress the vote as much.
Intimidate, right.
Well, not necessarily that, but, you can be coercive and you can certainly make it very difficult and make people feel uncomfortable. I guess maybe that is intimidation, but
sure.
It's just frustrating because my friends, many of the educated people, we all know about the yahoos, but we know my friends who are educated people who vote for this guy, they're almost fact resistant.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
Don't confuse them with the facts. That's exactly correct.
They are fact resistant. And you know what? I'm going to just tell you and your friends who are out there and other people listening, it's pointless. Forget about arguing, forget about debating, because this is what they get off on. They get off on fighting. And if you continue to fight with them, they continue to dig in even harder. You'll never reach them.
Yeah, you're right.
The only thing you can do...
It's like arguing with a rock.
Yeah, it is. It's impossible. It's like trying to argue about faith. You're just never going to do it.
Yeah.
You used to do that when you did the terminal shows.
There's an old saying where there's no sense, there's no feeling.
Well, yeah. And it just, you're essentially trying to argue a belief, and you're never going to disprove a negative, so you're wasting your breath. The only thing that's going to change is if you convince more people who have yet to be infected, if you want to use that kind of term, that you are... and that you are essentially trying to provide some kind of idea that's going to help them. Better education, better job, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And forget about trying to preach to the lunatics. They're gone. It's like those old Star Trek episodes, Once they've been mind melted, they're done for.
It's like the invasion of the body snatchers.
Yeah, but you know what? I got to
These
say this. I know you got a ton of people on the board, but let me just say this. John Kerry deserves a hell of a lot of the problem and the blame for what happened.
That's
he ran a lousy campaign from essentially the end of the Democratic convention, really all the way up until the first debate.
And he picked a real weak sister for his running mate.
Well,
after the convention, they realized that he was adding absolutely nothing.
Yeah, but you know what? He could have overcome that if he had a message and if he had his own core ideals and didn't surround himself with a bunch of losers like Bob Schrum, who never won an election since Madison was president.
Yeah.
He could have pulled that off, but. He's as much to blame. He sat around and talked about Vietnam for how long?
Yeah.
Who cares?
He got sucked into that, and they played the game with him for about 2 months, and that's
what
they wanted.
I'll leave you with this. Maybe one senatorial position that guy, and he's been in the Senate for 20 years, maybe one leadership position that he had, and tell me those guys didn't know something about his lack of leadership abilities.
Don't forget, Dean will be great in 2008.
Yeah, right. Oh, sure. Hey, happy birthday, and good luck to all of us.
Thanks, Pally. Hang in there. Sounds so depressed, doesn't he? Come on, Howard Dean. Dean will be great in 2008. What are you saying? He would have won the election. Guaranteed. He'd have won by 20 points.
We're going to South Carolina,
been able to steal
and Oklahoma, and Arizona,
let him have it, Howie.
and North Dakota, and New Mexico. We're going to California, and Texas, and New York. And we're going to South Dakota, and Oregon, and Washington, and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
22 past 1 on a beautiful Friday. The sun is shining here. Not too toasty. It's a little on the nippy side. How's it by you?
Oh, it's nice this morning. Actually,
really
cool. And
it's 8. And it's pretty great. Well, that's like 46, 47.
By the way, Renee, if you don't stop trying to fax this 10-page fax, I'm going to screen.
But it's going to be 11, sunny and 52 today. It's pretty good because it's been drippy and kind of like cloudy. And I guess the election had something to do with it, and contributing to that kind of morose feeling. Anyway, it's my birthday, and you'd think that we'd have a Mormon and an Orthodox Jew. Those are the only two categories out of 412 people that have, registered on our poll, on our survey. No Mormons and no Orthodox Jews. What is with you people, with you Farbissen, man? They're busy riding their motorcycles, the Mormons. And what's the Orthodox Jews' excuse, huh? They're busy laying tefillin?
I guess.
Maybe they're busy making extra babies like the Catholics. I don't know what that's all about.
Maybe they don't listen to anti-Semites like you.
Well, good. Something fine. Cox ahoy, okay? Coxahoyce, and how about knitting a nice doily beanie for your kids, so they can go to school and be embarrassed and laughed at by everybody else. You're making fun of our religion. Yes, now you're catching on. Good. I'm glad that there's somebody in this country that's got the balls to come on here and do it. In fact, that's the problem with the mainstream media. They're scared crapless of your religion, of your fairy tales, because it's bad for their business. Oh, you can't knock religion. Yeah, you're right. Why the hell not? Can knock anything else, but not religion, baby, because it's just, you don't talk about these things. That's the only hope you got. Start breaking down them walls of superstition and hocus pocus. That's where the focus ought to be. Let's have a focus group. WQAM, hello.
God, Bill.
Yes, sir.
This is Brad calling from Honolulu. How are you today?
In Honolulu?
Yeah, you're sounding beautiful on the internet. No crackling, no popping.
I'll be damned. No snapping either.
No, none of the above.
Well, you guys did a good job out there anyway.
Oh, yeah, we did. And, you know, this being one of about three most liberal states in the country, there's a paradox here. We have no gambling whatsoever.
Yeah, but you don't need any gambling. You've got what's more to what could you possibly need?
Well, yeah. I mean, when you live here, who cares? But it would be a good source of revenue with all the tourists that go in and out of here every day.
Yeah, that's true. But man, you don't need anything else. You got unless something has changed. Because last time I was there, which is a few years ago, Waikiki was so crowded you couldn't even breathe there. It was just jammed.
Well, the good news about that is that there is no more room for any more people. So we're about plateaued here.
Well, you're lucky, man. Just when in doubt, keep them out. Good luck to you, Brad.
But it's beautiful to be back, and nice to hear you on the internet.
Okay, aloha, Brad.
Aloha, bro.
Say goodbye, okay. Dick Cheney was there. He put that big layer around his neck to do him any good? No, they got their ass kicked in Hawaii. Not going to fool those people out there in Hawaii, man. That's one of the reasons they go there is because they're out there in the middle of the Pacific. They're a zillion miles from anywhere, and they don't have to be feel the, They already went through their thing in Pearl Harbor, man. They already made their sacrifice, and now they just want to be left alone and enjoy that warm Pacific and those nice trade winds, man. You've never been there either?
No,
huh?
no, it's on the list.
You've never been any place good?
Well, Montana's good.
No, not good. Yeah, good for nothing. Good golly.
It's not
You've
about
never
the
been
people.
anywhere good. Well, you were in New York.
Right, went to L.A.
Boston?
Mm-hmm, Seattle.
Well, what do you mean L.A.? What's good about L.A.?
It's not here.
Ooh, I don't know. Speak Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese?
Spanish.
At least you pick it upon me anyway. You feel right at home down there.
Yeah, they speak Mexican over there.
In Broward. 126 at 560. Like I said, you pick it upon me. Hey, I want to tell you right now, Pompano Park is doing it. That's right. In fact, congratulations to all the people at Pompano and Calder and Gulfstream and Miami High-Lie and Dania High-Lie and Dog Track, Flagler and Hollywood, right?
Right.
Because if you think gambling action is great right now, wait till they get the slots in there, they get the purses way up, and it's going to be a fabulous thing, bringing all that money in for education. Anyway, that's a separate thing. It has nothing to do with the spot, okay? It's just my own editorial comment. All you horse racing fans and poker players, Pompano Park Racing and Poker is all the gambling action you could want. Located just a half mile from both I-95 and the Turnpike, Pompano Park is easy to get to, and best of all, Pompano Park offers you free admission and free general parking every day. What's not to like? Live harness racing in the poker room is open 3 nights a week now, every Wednesday, Friday, like tonight, and tomorrow, every Saturday. Poker starts at noon, goes until midnight. Live racing gets underway every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 7:25 p.m. And every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, our poker room features tournament action with special Texas Hold'em and 7-card stud tournaments starting at noon. Don't miss on Dollar Nights Wednesdays, draft beer, soda, hot dogs, and more, just $1 a piece, starting at 6 p.m. every Wednesday at the track. Pompano Park is also open for simulcasting every day, 7 days and nights a week, with the best in harness racing, thoroughbred racing, and highlight action from all across North America for you to watch and plunge your guts on. And most important of all, mark this down on your wrist. There are only about 45,000 minutes left until the first free spaghetti dinner night on Monday, December 6th. Mark it down. Pompano Park, located a block south of Atlantic Boulevard on Powerline Road. For that current racing schedule, call 954-972-2000 or check them on the web at pompanopark.com. Don't forget live racing and poker Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. First post time, 7:25 at Pompano Park.
The Howard Stern Show. Neil Rogers, mornings and middays. And sports around the clock. 560 QAM. Neil Rogers.
Banana picking Julios who thrive on anarchy are are building an arena for the Miami Heat. Having two arenas somehow don't seem right. Better ask Jeff Bowen for financial advice. NBA is locked down. There's no basketball. They're all on strike. Let's burn the place down. An insurance check would sure be nice. Before we lose our ass, take that can of gas. Like that match.
I'm dying out of here.
Oh, we got a Mormon. Oh, all right. Aren't you excited?
Think you can get him on the show?
There is what everybody wants is one Mormon. I think everybody should have a cute Mormon, like with a nice white shirt and a black tie, to take home.
Well,
fondle their magic underwear, maybe clean it for them.
That's not what I want them wearing.
Orthodox Jews, we have none. That's the only group out of 457. We could search high and far and low. Maybe they're busy trimming their beards right now, huh? Or maybe they're planning a pilgrimage to the Holy Land. Who the hell knows what they're doing? Or maybe, like I said, maybe they're knitting a nice beanie for Junior. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. What a wonderful world this could be, like Sam Cooke said. And even Art Garfunkel, too, I think, said the same thing. Without all these bubble mices. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, buddy?
All right, Pally.
Listen, what everybody's forgetting is that George Bush, he's got a plan.
Yeah.
He has to get rid of abortion. How else is he going to get all those bodies for this 100-year war he's got us in?
Okay, did you write that down?
I did.
Okay. WQAM, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil?
Yeah.
Yeah. Longtime Democrat, seems like a little frustrated.
That's too inarticulate.
Huh?
I say getting a little frustrated.
Frustrated, yeah.
About getting the short end of the stick. Why?
Why what?
Why are we losing?
Because you're not enough of you getting out there and doing it, baby. For every one of those right-wing goyim, man, you got to have two of you just to make sure that they count at once. That's why. Because they're mobilizing and fanaticizing and dragging them out and schlepping them and chasing them down the road. Did you see any of that footage in the last couple hours when they had the polling places still open?
Yes.
And they showed them shooing these people. I mean, they called. You got to hand it to them, man. And then I mentioned his name the other day, Richard Viguerie. They dragged him out of the mothballs from way back in the early days of the moral majority and the Christian coalition, all this other crap. He was the first rocket scientist they had, him and Paul Weyrich, to start with all these big mailing lists and organize. I'll say it again. Back in the mid-'70s, these people were considered the lunatic fringe, and they were, and they still are. People laughed at them, like that bit you keep playing a million times. Yeah, right. They laughed at them. We knew they were a little bit dangerous, but there were only, we thought, a few of them. And now they've grown like some kind of like a disease, like somebody's growing them in a petri dish somewhere. They're multiplying like crazy. 4 million of these lunatics came out there on Tuesday because they got on the phone, they schlepped them out there. Run like crazy now, run there, get there. You got 30 seconds to get there. If you're online, you got your vote count. They got them all out, and the rest of the people were like, sitting back, counting their marbles. That's why. WQAM, hello.
Hello, George.
Yeah.
I'd like to speak Neil, please.
Where you calling from?
Deerfield.
Turn the radio
Here's Deerfield Beach, hello.
Neil.
Yeah.
Hey. How are you? Happy
Pretty
birthday,
good.
happy Friday.
Thank you.
Just call and say thank you again about Amendment 4. And I want to give a shout out to my good friend, B.
Okay, good. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon Singular wireless line. So you want to give a shout out to his good man, whoever that was.
Yeah.
When in doubt, open a window and shout it out. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, this is Caesar, the true Christian here.
All right. God bless you, my child.
I have a message for all the Republican Nazis out there.
Yes?
This is message one of many to come. Thou shalt not kill.
Right.
And that should be the prime message in Christianity. So call me the moral minority.
Okay, Pally. Good luck to you. Don't
buddy.
forget, moral values is where it's at now. Moral values.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Killing innocent people. Una bomba grande. That'll teach him. We're going to make him an offer they can't refuse. And you ain't seen nothing yet. In fact, Kofi Annan just sent a urgent letter saying, hey, guess what? If you go ahead with this Fallujah attack, with this all-out assault, you're going to screw up that election in January. It's never going to happen. The insurgents are going to, multiply like weeds, and it's going to be a nightmare. But now that this guy's got all this political capital he talked about. Remember, I read that article twice. I read it again on Election Day, and I read it the week before. Where he talked about his daddy had all that political capital, he just wasted it. And even in his little phony baloney press conference yesterday, which you won't see another one for 6 months at least, he's got all this political capital, he intends to use it. So in other words, basically what he's saying, he's going to go ahead and do whatever the hell he wants. Right. It's his agenda now. Plus the fact he's got this additional help in Congress, thanks to the fact they got all these Goyim out there on Tuesday. That's why they won 4 more Senate seats. That's why they got this stranglehold on both houses of Congress. And that's why when William Rehnquist croaks pretty soon and everybody else, they're going to put another one of these right-wing justices on there, and you can bet your bottom dollar it's going to happen. This crap about no litmus test my ass, man. The fetus huggers, the Flat Earth Society, they're the ones that are taking over your country. I don't want to get all whipped up to a frenzy now, but that's what's happened. And do we have an Orthodox Jew yet or what? We got an Orthodox Jew. Oh, right. I don't know. I have no way of verifying it.
It's a mitzvah.
Yeah. We'll have to send the Tzitzis police out there just to make double sure, okay?
That you have a measuring tape?
Yeah, with a measuring tape to see how long they are. 483 votes, and I hope it's somebody who's really circumspect.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
What a joke. They showed a clip, Kingdom on the Brink, the battle for Saudi Arabia, that they're going to show on Sunday on CNN, 8 o'clock. Mm-hmm. They're showing it, of course, like I said the other day, the week after the election's over. That's Sunday. About the barbarians over there. Our good, close personal friends, Bandar Bush and that crowd, the royal family. Anyway, Michael Moore writes, and the reason I played Monty Python, he says, okay, it really sucks, but before you go and cash it all in, let's, in the words of Monty Python, always look on the bright side of life. There is some good news from Tuesday's election. Here are 17 reasons not to slit your wrists. 1, it is against the law for George W. Bush to run for president again. 2, Bush's victory was the narrowest win for a sitting president since Woodrow Wilson in 1916. 3, the only age group in which the majority voted for Kerry was young adults, Kerry 54, Bush 44, proving once again that your parents are always wrong and you should never listen to them. 4, in spite of Bush's win, the majority of Americans still think the country is headed in the wrong direction, 56%, think the war wasn't worth fighting, 51%, and don't approve of the job George W. Bush is doing, 52%. Note to foreigners, don't try to figure this one out. It's an American thing like Pop-Tarts. 5, the Republicans will not have a filibuster-proof 60-seat majority in the Senate. If the Democrats do their job, Bush won't be able to pack the Supreme Court with right-wing ideologues. Did I say if the Democrats do their job? Maybe better to scratch this one. 6, Michigan voted for Kerry. So did the entire Northeast, the birthplace of our democracy. So did 6 of the 8 Great Lakes states, and the whole West Coast plus Hawaii. Okay, that's a start. We've got most of the fresh water, all of Broadway, and Mount St. Helens. We can dehydrate them or bury them in lava and no more show tunes. 7, once again, we're reminded that the Buckeye is a nut, and not just any old nut, a poisonous nut. A great nation was felled by a poisonous nut. May Ohio State pay dearly this Saturday when it faces Michigan. 8, 88% of Bush's support came from white voters. In 50 years, America will no longer have a white majority. Hey, 50 years isn't such a long time. If you're 10 years old and reading this, your golden years will be truly golden, and you'll be well cared for in your old age. 9, gays, thanks to the ballot measures passed on Tuesday, cannot get married in 11 states. Thank God. Just think of all those wedding gifts we won't have to buy now. 10, 5 more African Americans were elected as members of Congress, including the return of Cynthia McKinney of Georgia. It's always good to have more blacks in there fighting for us and doing the job our candidates can't. 11, the CEO of Coors was defeated for the Senate in Colorado. Drink up. 12, admit it, we like the Bush twins and we don't want them to go away. 13, at the state legislative level, Democrats picked up a net of at least 3 chambers in Tuesday's elections. Of the 98 partisan-controlled state legislative chambers, Democrats went into the 2004 elections in control of 44 chambers. Republicans controlled 53 chambers, and 1 was tied. After Tuesday, Democrats now control 47, Republicans 49. 1 chamber is tied, and 1 chamber, Montana, is still undecided, the Montana House. 14, Bush is now a lame duck president. He'll have no greater moment than the one he's having this week. It's all downhill for him from here on out. And more significantly, he's not just going to want to do all the hard work that'll be expected of him. It'll be like everyone's last month in 12th grade. You've already made it, so it's party time. Perhaps he'll treat the next 4 years like a permanent Friday, spending even more time at the ranch or in Kennebunkport. And why shouldn't he? He's already proved his point, avenging his father, and kicked our ass. 15. Should Bush decide to show up to work and take this country down a very dark road, it's also just as likely that either of the following two scenarios will happen. A. Now that he doesn't ever have to pander to the Christian conservatives again to get elected, someone may whisper in his ear that he should spend these last 4 years building a legacy so that history will render a kinder verdict on him and thus will not push for too aggressive a right-wing agenda. Or B, he'll become so cocky and arrogant and thus reckless that he'll commit a blunder of such major proportion that even his own party will have to remove him from office. 16. There are nearly 300 million Americans, 200 million of them voting age. We lost by only 3.5 million. That's not a landslide. It means we're almost there. Imagine losing by 20 million. If you had 58 yards to go before you reached the goal line and you barreled 55 yards, down 55 of those yards, would you stop on the 3-yard line, pick up the ball, and go home crying, especially when you get to start the next series of downs on the 3-yard line? Of course not. Buck up, have hope, more sports analogies are coming. And 17, finally and most importantly, over 55 million Americans voted for the candidate dubbed the #1 liberal in the Senate. That's more than the total number of voters who voted for either Reagan, Bush 1, Clinton, or Gore. Again, more people voted for Kerry than for Reagan. If the media are looking for a trend, it should be this, that so many Americans were, for the first time since Kennedy, willing to vote for an out-and-out liberal. The country always has been filled with evangelicals. That's not news. What is news is that so many people have shifted toward a Massachusetts liberal. In fact, that's big news. Which means don't expect the mainstream media, the ones who brought you the Iraq War, to ever report the real truth about November 2nd, 2004. In fact, it's better that they don't. We need the element of surprise in 2008. Feeling better? I hope so. As my friend Mort wrote me yesterday, my Romanian grandfather used to say to me, remember, Morton, this is such a wonderful country, it doesn't even need a president. But it needs us. Rest up. I'll write you again tomorrow, says Michael Moore.
All right.
Good stuff. Thanks to the caller that reminded me to look that up, and I did. And there it is. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon Cellular Wireless lines. WQAM, hello.
Hi, this is Midi from Miami, Florida.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to tell you something. I'm probably the only Cuban Democrat in the whole wide world here in Florida.
All right.
And I'm just telling you, I think this is a lesson for the Democrats, that you have get their own hands in creating or their own media for everybody. Listen to the other side of the story. And the other thing, they should get money into getting those ballot machines with the receipts on it on everybody so they cannot hack in it like they do with computers. That's what I
doubt they hacked it out, right.
Yeah, that's right. So I just thank you for being there so everybody listen to the other side of the story. Thank you.
Okay, sweetheart, hang in there.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. What'd she say? 56705. Now, she did a good job.
Yeah,
she was saying her thing. She's a Cuban Democrat. She's the one. I just hope they didn't trace that call, though. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Wishing you the best, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you for everything. You know, after listening to you all day, I've been thinking how they use the word liberal as a bad word towards anybody who's just a free thinker, easy goer. You start calling people worshipers as the bad word in turn to those.
I like the flat earthers, I think, is a good term. The flat earth crowd.
It is. And the weapons of mass destruction that we were never able to find actually in Iraq, they're all here. Everybody's got Uzis now, remember?
That's right. That's right. Forget about looking for them in Iraq, man. They're on every street corner. You got them, man. Take cover.
Have a great one. Thank you very much.
As they say at Aflac, duck. I beg your pardon. Let's see now. What do we got on this poll? We got agnostics, Catholics, atheists, Jews of all varieties and shapes and sizes with big noses. 538 people to register. We got one Mormon. Oh, look at this. We got a pair of Orthodox Jews. Oh! All right.
You're listening to Neil
What's not to like, baby?
On 560 QAM.
Were you drudge packing?
Now all us rednecks sure love incest. 'Cause sex just ain't as good unless it's family. Because all us rednecks practice incest. Now I'm my only uncle and it worries me. My Aunt Esther took me with her back to her double wide. What a deal, ain't got no wheels, and inside smelled like something died. She kissed my cheek and winked her eye and said, we're all alone in the house. But I got sick when she gave me a kiss. Chewing tobacco in her mouth. All us rednecks sure love incest.
Absolutely.
'Cause sex just ain't as good unless it's family. Because all us rednecks practice incest. So come meet my new wife. She's my niece. I just got me a farm with horses, chickens, cows, and pigs. A 4x4 that I adore, with tires that are too damn big. The rear window, it has a gun rack. That's where I keep my gun. A rebel flag and my wife in the back. My neck is red from too much sun. All us rednecks sure love incest. 'Cause sex just ain't as good unless it's family. Because all us rednecks practice incest. My sister is the one over there with the dirty knees. At reunions it's hard to choose who's got the nicest shoes. And I don't like the way my daddy has been watching me. He's the interim president of Afghanistan. He got the job from the Americans. He's got a short beard and wears a funny hat. And George Bush thinks that he is all that. He is Hamid Karzai, the Afghani ruler who we hope doesn't die. He's Hamid, the Afghan Superman. He tells the U.S. government, I'm Karzai. I beat the Taliban.
Bye, bye, bye! Howard Stern Show, Neil Rogers is sports around the clock. Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
You understand the Gestapo keeps track of everyone.
Doi.